Avengers assemble! Titans together! Squirm comms! Separate and conquer! Dwibs, you're up!
Okay then. Hello everyone and welcome to our commentary on the extended trailer for Suicide Squad. A 2 hour and 14-minute long trailer. Wow, they must have really quite a lot to show, eh?
Yeah, indeed, we're doing this for preparation of the movie itself.
But it also means that if you have your DVD or Blu-ray, you need to watch the extended edition because it's this one.
We're going to watch the extended edition so that the DCU fanboys don't come at us.
As the director intended, I suppose.
Yeah. We're going to watch the extended edition so that the DCU fanboys don't tell us, oh, you watched the original version. The extended version is the real one.
It depends. Does this one even have all those, from what I've heard, quote-unquote,
No.
No.
It's not that. What they did is they added in a couple scenes that fill in some plot holes, but they didn't revise the movie at all. This is not this is definitely still the exact same.
So it's not even like Batman v Superman, because at least Batman v Superman did change some stuff if it's extended scenes, whereas this one, from what I hear, doesn't even.
It's only 11 minutes. It's only 11 minutes of additional footage, so there's not really room for any major changes. It's the exact same awkward editing of various cuts of the reshoots is still incredibly obvious. This is still not the movie that David Ayer wanted to make, clearly.
Oh, and one thing that I should make the audience perfectly aware of right off the bat. I think this movie is even worse than Batman v Superman.
Wait, David Ayer, wasn't he involved in Batman v Superman?
He made Sabotage.
Alright, Weaves, I guess it's the Warner Brothers logo we have to start.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers logo that looks like someone dropped acid while making.
Well, Dwebs, that's the thing. Like that color scheme is kind of very fitting of the original comics, so it's kind of the idea. So that's kind of the idea. So.
Alright.
3, 2, 1, click. There's been a lot of questions.
For your information, I actually haven't seen this movie at the cinema, so actually it's the first time for me.
Guys, there's been a lot of questions posed throughout all of last year, but there is one question that's been on my mind the most. What the hell do you guys see in this version of Harley Quinn?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
House of the Rising Sun? Why?
What? Hey, down in front, I can't read the sign.
Well, the thing is,
Pedro, that's one change. They lengthened the bit where you can read the thing this time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jova. What is it?
You were saying something, Pedro?
Well, the thing is, Dwebs, of course, this is your first time seeing Harley Quinn, because you haven't seen the Batman animated series, you haven't read the comics, so obviously you don't know. But trust me, of all the characters, Deadshot and Harley Quinn are the only ones who are actually properly represented.
Really? This is Harley Quinn's the representation? In that case, I don't know if I want to.
Well, Dweebs, you tend to be fickle with how you deal with humorous aspects, so I'll just wait.
And of course, we have Will Smith playing Deadshot. Brilliant. That's actually a pretty brilliant choice. I immediately
surprisingly backwashing, because if I recall, Deadshot wasn't. But again, this is one case where I don't really.
Actually,
mind
I think he was black in most.
When it comes to Deadshot, you don't really mind. About this.
Okay. Will Smith is good, but unfortunately, you can see a problem immediately with the movie. The editing in this film is horrible.
Yeah, we're like 2 minutes in and we already edited this much.
Okay.
Movie.
This is actually a good time to get into some of the behind-the-scenes problems of the movie, since there's still nothing going on. Okay, basically, everybody, this movie was already being written and directed by David Ayer. However, Batman v Superman came out, and Warner Bros. Kind of freaked out at the reaction. And since this movie was also keeping up that Zack Snyder style of being dark and gritty and shit, they got Trailer Park, a trailer editing house, to actually edit a trailer that looked more Marvel, or not so much Marvel, but like a bit more full of humor and shit, which was that trailer that was incredibly received. So because of
like how the DC comic book universe is, actually allowed to have fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the thing,
that's the problem, Jova.
That's the problem. To continue on, Yeah, basically, Harley Quinn is Joker's girlfriend, and she's just as nuts, if not more, than the Joker. Anyway, the point is... Anyway, the point...
that reminds me. Are they using the new 52 version of Harley Quinn here?
It's the classic one.
Really?
This is exactly what...
Guards in the hospital?
This is exactly what you'd expect from an adult movie version of her. You know, sadistic and provocative and all that shit.
Oh, hold on, Pedro. I mean, New 52 Harley Quinn is fine. It's just like, well,
God,
the difference...
these flashbacks.
What the fuck?
Look at the color palette, guys. We're totally brighter now.
Yeah, this is the... Yeah, this is
God!
Let me just finish, Jova. See, the thing is, David Ayer was writing and shooting this movie in that dark and gritty style that Zack Snyder first announced when they first announced the DCU. However, since the Trailer Park edited a trailer that was incredibly well received, they actually hired Trailer Park to edit the movie, the actual full movie. The problem is that it's one thing to edit a trailer; it's another thing altogether to edit a movie. Not to mention, not to mention, because of the reception of BVS, they actually booted David Ayer off the project and actually got him to and actually got some reshoots to make it more lighthearted, shall we say? Go ahead, Jova.
Anyway. So when I ask if it's New 52 Harley Quinn, she's not too different character-wise from the original Harley Quinn. Albeit she can be a bit more bloodthirsty. I'm mainly asking because the main difference is
Superman scene.
I guess. Yeah. Anyway, the main difference is like, New 52 Harley Quinn actually did get...
this CGI on this title is so terrible.
The main difference is that New 52 Harley Quinn, like the Joker, got dunked into a vat of acids. Admittedly, this was during the time when Joker was trying to offer like he did his other girlfriends, but she ended up surviving and had her skin whitened. Like
it's pretty much that, but I think this is done much better than in the New 52, I think, at least. Well, I'll let you be the judge. I'll let you be the judge of that.
So there's another thing that's done better than New 52 already, Amanda Waller.
Yeah, Amanda Waller. She's actually played... Okay, even though her character is badly written and does a lot of stupid things, Viola Davis does actually do a really good job in trying to sell this character. She's doing the very best she can with the writing she's given.
When you say stupid, do you mean like comic book stupid?
You'll see. You'll see. I cannot talk about that without going into spoilers. You'll see.
Okay, all right, so guys, we're facing we're going to be facing an ultra powerful threat, and Superman is not available, and we can't rely on Justice League all the time because
the Justice League aren't around.
Yeah, Justice League is not
around yet.
Yeah.
What are we? So what are we gonna? So who do we get?
Let's get villain. Let's get some villains and put them together and call them the Suicide Squad.
In context, this makes sense. Basically, backstory.
Basically, well, not in a comic book way, but in a more meta way. Suicide Squad was created in the DC universe to contrast the Thunderbolts of a Marvel universe, which had the exactly same concept. Villains were forcibly reformed by the government as a threat to military invasions and minor supervillain threats.
The big reason that Viola Davis gives is that. At any moment, a supervillain like as powerful as Superman can come here and just, if he's not as good as Superman, of course we're in danger. So we need some kind of way to protect us in case that happens, and that's why they're forming the Suicide Squad.
Well, okay, that's definitely a nice, good thing that they kept consistent, because thank goodness, unlike the Marvel Universe, instead of using it as an immediate countermeasure as in, let's go and pursue him even though he's done nothing wrong yet, they're just meant as a post-cautionate measure.
So yeah, that shot is of course the exact same character he was that we all know. He's kind of he's a killer, and he's by hire, and he gets paid for his services, all that shit.
Yep.
I can see how Will Smith would go good because, like gets out, he is sort of a family man.
He's just his best. He's so good at shooting that he can ricochet his projectiles everywhere.
Of all the characters, that shot is the only one who has a proper character arc where he has to, have to deal with the fact that he's a father and he has to.
I'm gonna say I think the better one done here is El Diablo's, to be honest.
Sure. My problem with El Diablo is that he doesn't do that much in the movie.
Here's his motivation.
Wait, hold on,
he does this stuff. Here's his motivation. He does stuff because his daughter.
Hold on, let me listen.
Is that a brat, sir?
She's supposed to be taking care of you. That's how that's supposed to work.
Oh no, it's a.
Yeah, see, the thing is, her daughter is kind of, how shall I put it, an alcoholic, and she doesn't. So it's kind of the daughter taking care of the mom instead of the other way around. So the dad kind of has to, try to see if he can get stuff so that she can try to live a better life.
Ah, okay.
I'm acting.
Okay, so a lovely stroll down the alleyway. What could possibly ruin this
Wearing Gotham, Marvey.
apparently touching moment?
Yeah, wearing Gotham.
Ben Affleck!
Hey, hey, Batman.
But I'm gonna do it in front of your daughter anyway.
Also, what an asshole, Batman.
Well, he did say that he didn't want to do it, but he never said he wouldn't do it. If that shot had surrendered right there and there, then I'm pretty sure he wouldn't.
And I guess going off of the context, I'm guessing the only other...
This is the same Batman v Superman, so...
Yeah.
Anyway. Also, to be fair in context, as far as we know, the only other time Deadshot is out, and it is when he's carrying out a job. Yeah. And knowing Batman, he doesn't want to risk that life, so it makes sense why you would apprehend him now.
Can I okay, there is
and
one...
I will give it this, though, this does seem to be that he's actually learning and improving, whereas in Batman v Superman, he was a ruthless vigilante who branded villains. Here, he's actually
and kill people,
trying to be considerate here.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. There's one problem with this film I really want to bring up, aside from the editing. Hang on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
The horrible clashing of cinematography. I mean,
yeah.
The movie for the most part is shot
my.
in the generic dark griminess that the other two DC extended universe movies had. But then you throw in bright colors, and it's really distracting. It's like in the 1998 Avengers movie where everything was grey, and then you have that scene with the multicolored teddy bears.
It's abundantly clear to me.
Wow, guys! The sequel to Sucker Punch is looking rather trippy.
It's abundantly clear that we're.
Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. Regardless of cut content, I'm sorry. I really do not like Jared Leto's Joker.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get
anyway, Lips, I had a question. Does this movie actually have an original score? Or is just a generic, music track?
It does have a score, but for the most part, it's songs.
Well, there's barely a score at all. Half the time,
it can be done better, like with Watchmen, but come on.
Half the time they just throw in generic. Half the time they just throw in just songs because we're trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Because we're trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Except Guardians of the Galaxy it worked, but the point is,
and you know what makes it funny?
So yeah, the original story is that Harley Quinn was a doctor who was trying to, do some therapy on the Joker, and the Joker ended up making her. Yeah.
So wait.
Okay, you know what's hilarious? All the documented stuff about Jared Leto doing all this weird stuff to apparently stay in character, like sending used condoms to his castmates. Because that's not okay. Method acting, fine, but the main problem is when you do that and it still doesn't work. Guys,
there's the costume. That's the classic costume.
Harley Quinn's in her animated costume.
Yeah.
We're so totally with the comic book fans on this one.
Well, actually, Harley Quinn was actually invented.
That's not so much a comic book thing, but she was first debuted in the animated series, so that's a nice little throwback.
Why is
the problem? Well, the problem, Joe, over here is that half the fan service just comes off as they're just trying to distract people from the problems.
Anyway, the thing is, basically, in this version of the Joker, he's kind of a pimp.
What?
Pimp Joker.
As you're about to see, you'll see what I mean in a moment.
Sure.
I think there's a moment of really poor editing coming up. I think.
There you go. You see, it's incredibly obvious that the reshoots are.
I don't mean the weird transition there. I mean, I know it's something that can be considered incredibly minor, but wait, if you're okay, actually that's not till a bit later. All right. So, what's this editing when Harley Quinn comes in?
Yeah.
It's not for nothing, but are you going to point out every bit of trippy editing? Because,
Well, when it's
you know,
so easy to notice.
well, let's not overdo it, though. Trust me, my eyes can tell well enough when there's bad editing. Besides, if we're going to point out every editing, that'll be pretty much what 75% of the commentary is.
Right.
So yeah, the Joker is actually offering Harley Quinn to this guy as payment.
And knowing the Joker, he's probably just using it as a ruse so they can kill him, make a joke out of him, and then paint his face up like that of a clown.
And guess what? The criminal for some
It
reason
just
says
comes to her sitting down when she's not even sat down yet.
not just that.
Okay, Dwebs.
So?
All right, let me
we
try
did
it.
it.
All right, Dwebs. All right, Dwebs. How about I talk for a bit now, for a change? Okay, basically, yeah. No, the great thing there is that the criminal actually refused sex with Harley Quinn because I think I can do a Joker. She's your lady. Apparently, we have found the most polite criminal ever.
Well, to be fair,
And he still got killed.
to be fair, it is the Joker of all people. I mean, knowing him, he probably just saw it as, something that would get him killed. Oh, hey, it's that scene that was leaked.
Well, actually, Jova, to be fair, you know when people film these scenes with their cameras, this kind of thing is common.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, okay, going back to what I was trying to say earlier, yeah, it's like Dwebs was saying, it's incredibly obvious when which scenes were shot by David Ayer. It's still in that dark, gritty style that Zack Snyder implemented for this universe, and the ones that are a lot of those flashbacks that we saw earlier clearly were probably meant to be full-blown scenes, but we had to try to make this more happy and fast and shit to be more, it's just one of those things where it's a clash of styles that the movie never feels well-rounded. Like, it's apparently obvious when...
Oh, hi! A throwback to Arkham City.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least Man of Steel and Batman v Superman had one consistent style going throughout.
Well, okay.
Here it clashes horribly.
Okay. To their credit, I can see what they're going for with the tone. I mean, obviously, villains being the heroes, I can see why they would go for more
Oh, Captain
crazy...
Boomerang!
Oh,
Played
goody.
by... Okay. I'll confess, usually when Jai Courtney is mentioned to be in a movie, I panic. Because, well, let's be honest, when Jai Courtney's trying to play a generic hero guy, he's really wooden and really...
I don't know if he played here in the movie, but let's just say that in the comics, Captain Boomerang is always treated, let's just say, in a low rate.
And look at
because-
that, the Flash!
Yeah, that's because Captain Boomerang is actually a Flash villain.
But I'll be fair, Jai Courtney isn't actually all that bad in this movie.
To be
fair, Dwebs, he is getting to play the villain, so wait, why the heck is Katana a man?
Actually,
No,
this is Diablo.
that's not Katana, that's El Diablo.
Oh,
He's actually my favourite of the Suicide Squad members in this movie.
anyway, I mean, okay, you know what's weird, Cycle? Deadshot's backstory was fleshed out nice enough for the start, but Harley Quinn's in comparison felt rather squandered,
Yeah.
seriously.
Oh, Jova, you thought Harley Quinn's was for us? Just wait till you see the rest of the squad.
Oh,
They only
trust me,
get, like,
Jova.
15 seconds each.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, I can get, some of these Killer Croc,
Now Killer
Yeah.
Croc.
so they're double dipping on the Batman villains, I see.
The thing is,
Look
Jova,
at-
that's exactly it,
look at-
Jova. It's one of
well-
those. There's a lot of footage that was left out, like I said, those scenes, those flashbacks we saw earlier of Harley Quinn, trying to do therapy on the Joker back before she went insane. Those were probably full blown scenes at the beginning. This movie was probably trying to be like 3 hours long or something, but BVS happened and Warner's panicked.
So what you're saying is that this man may have actually had a better idea of what it was doing before they cut out all...
Well, we'll never. It's like Fant Forstick. We'll never know because we'll never know. We'll never see that actual.
Tia, remind me, is Deadshot a Batman villain, or is he like an all-around villain?
It's more all around. Remember, it was created for the whole banter between Deathstroke and Deadpool from, Rob Liefeld. Remember,
Wait, hold
he's
on.
still Rob
Deadshot
Liefeld.
was made for that too?
Yeah, first it was made Deathstroke. When Rob Liefeld went to Marvel and made Deadpool, and then DC complained, and we made him come back to them and create Deathstroke. Deathstroke. Sorry.
So let's see,
Here's the,
Deathstroke, Deadpool.
He's an all-around villain, but most recently they made him more focused on Batman on purpose. So.
Okay, here's another problem because other than Deadshot and Harley Quinn, because they give the other members of the squad so little time, to talk about them as they've done the other two, the rest of the squad just come off as really not that interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
that depends. I mean, do they at least take the rest of the film time to try and flesh them out? Because
Not
that makes-
really. Not really,
No.
Jova. Sorry. Oh, and
Wait.
here it is. We're about to get introduced to the villain, Enchantress. Oh, well, actually,
Wait.
not quite yet, because this is
Wait.
the first
It's
two.
not
So wait, if
Wait,
they don't-
wait.
if they don't
Hold
get
on,
time
one
to
at a
flesh
time.
out if they don't get time to flesh out the characters and everything, what we do in 2 hours?
That's just a thing, Joe. That's just a thing too. The second act, and I use that term very loosely because this movie doesn't even have a proper free act structure because the editing is so terrible. But most of the movie in the second act, Theo. Oh, okay. In the second third of the runtime, let's go with that. In the second third of the runtime, most of the time is spent with the squad just bumbling around in the town doing nothing. I don't get it.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, I cannot take Enchantress seriously in this movie for reasons that will become apparent later on in the film.
So there's a second the Bravo statue.
You see, guys, we want the Warner Brothers executives wanted this movie to be more Marvel-esque, and so obviously we had to take the Marvel villain approach and make the villain as interesting as a fucking piece of wood.
Okay. Hold on. But aren't they presenting her as like a member of the Suicide Squad?
Yes, at the beginning, actually, hold on, you're kind of wrong there. At the begin, basically, Viola Davis actually managed to get. Well, this is not a spoiler because you guys already know this backstory. She actually got her hands on Enchantress's heart, and as any person who is familiar with her character for the comics, and whoever has the heart can pretty much manipulate her Enchantress into doing whatever they want. So, as a result, Enchantress was actually supposed to be used by Viola Davis as a tool to try to, keep going with the shit. However, later on, Enchantress will escape. But we already know this from the trailers, so whatever.
Wait, hold on. You knew from the trailers that she was going to be the bad guy? Weird. All I got was an inkling that she was going to be... Well, Enchantress tends to be given a lot of anti-hero roles.
When she fell in love with Rick Flag.
Yeah, Rick Flag.
Well, it was part of Viola Davis's plan. Basically, he would fall in love with Dr. Moon so that she would
Are you spoiling parts of the movie, Serby?
Nope.
No.
You see, again.
Okay, I get it. Whew.
Okay.
Why is the government still afraid of Superman?
Okay,
Because Superman is evil
Wait,
too.
hold on. One at a time, guys. Wait, hold on.
You know that the previous scene told us who the members of the Suicide Squad were?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this scene's going to tell us the members of the Suicide Squad again.
Yeah.
As if we didn't know earlier. I'm not stupid, movie. I know who the characters are.
To flesh out more the characters,
Yeah.
As bland as they are, you've already told me their names.
No, actually,
Hold on. Let's see if they flesh them out more.
Strictly need to know. If they get caught, we throw them under the bus. The next war will be fought with these metahumans. Ours or theirs. We're not the only ones kicking up rocks looking for them.
You know we can't control these
I love how most of the movies are pointing out how silly her plan
but
is.
what if they can?
True.
Well, these are dangerous criminals.
Let's just say they've got special needs. Which I believe we'll be seeing.
Alright, so she has like a secret weapon of sorts.
Let's see.
Like I said, the heart of Enchantress.
Oh, the Art of Atro, yeah.
Wait, hold on. That's the doctor. Wait a minute, hold on. That's the doctor. Don't they know that she's possessed since they literally went over them in the files?
Yeah. But that's the thing.
Oh, there she is.
I see.
That's the thing, Jova. Viola Davis wants to show off how she can control her and shit.
Oh.
Okay, just
okay, that was funny. Okay,
Alright,
that was funny.
just for clarification, Is that true in the comics where she says Enchantress and then bam, she's Enchantress?
Wait.
That's kind of like
That's
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, there's Shazam characters who do that.
I
Yeah,
was
in this
actually
one,
about
she says Enchantress and then bam, she's Enchantress.
I guess it's more of a reference than that, but they just say their personality is there. We just mutate when the fuck they want.
That's
making
it.
it-
That's it. That's it. That is actually how it is in the comics. However, she has to say the Enchantress.
They missed the ruined forever.
But yeah, for the most part, they actually have
Did
that.
we just make a reference to Dragon Ball Z when Goku teleports and get Master Muten's hat?
You mean glasses, too?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. It was a long time ago.
Don't touch me, I'm married.
Come on, I don't see what you mean. This movie is funny so far.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I'm liking the goofiness.
I mean, sure, it may not be top tier comedy gold, but I'm still laughing.
Yeah, I can definitely see where they're going with the trippiness. I mean, a movie about Suicide Squad, well, the comics have always been trippy like that, so by all means, bring on the madness. I will say, though, my only one complaint is how Harley Quinn's backstory feels squandered. I'm just hoping maybe the movie will flesh that out some more, especially since there's apparently more Joker scenes in this movie to come.
Well, actually, remember, Jova, that's the thing. Most of the footage that Leto shot was left out of the movie.
I know.
Got lost, yeah.
I know.
Even
But I'm
in this
assuming that-
extended version, there's still
I know. I'm assuming though that he'll show up later because that's usually how Suicide Squad
That's just the
comics
thing.
like these go.
That's just the thing, Jova. Extended edition wise, the Joker's total runtime is extended from 15 minutes to, I guess, 20 minutes.
Okay, I get that. What I'm saying is that I assume he's going to show up later in the movie anyway.
Yes, he is. Yes.
in various bits here and there.
I wonder if they'll pull an assault on Arkham. So, what method are they using to keep him in check? The brain.
Well,
bomb?
Enchantress has the art, but I guess the others
Well,
are
they do have a well later on they're
driving
going to
conditions,
show
probably.
yeah later on they're going to they do have a motivation for them to not deviate or try and escape or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're using the Battle Royale logic, something like an exploding collar or something.
Very good.
Okay, I'll elaborate a little bit on the Harley Quinn stuff. It's not these early bits that bother me that much. It's from a certain part onwards later on that's when I really start to get annoyed.
We'll see.
I'm
Also-
a crocodile. Roar.
Also, I'll be fair. Villains like Killer Croc, admittedly, unless you go into the extended universe, don't have that much backstory, so I can see why they would be short on it. See, Killer Croc's thing is that basically he had a skin disease that got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah,
And
and honestly,
that's
even his
pretty much
backstory
it.
is not very interesting. He's pretty much a collector, those people that beat you up if you don't pay your debts. And that's pretty much it.
Admittedly, he has some cases where he's kind of a good guy, just misunderstood, but yeah, for the most part, that's in a tin can. El Diablo. I don't really remember this DC villain.
I think it actually was a supporting character of Constantine, I think.
Oh,
Sure.
Constantine. Of course.
Remember, Jova, since Vertigo showed up, merged up with DC, they started using him a lot.
All right, it is
then,
okay.
then
Here's
I'll be
one
honest,
thing.
I have no idea about the El Diablo then.
All right, El Diablo in this movie is rather hesitant to use his powers for reasons that will become clear. I think around the third act.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Third act, quote unquote, because the structure of this
Yeah,
movie is so
quote-unquote.
fuck nuts.
This movie is like 6 acts.
6 axes, yeah. Actually, no, Jova. Apparently, the character is still around ever since the Silver Age. So
Okay. I get that. But I mean, what was
Bye.
he in, though, is what I'm trying to remember.
apparently, his own original series.
Okay.
And now we get to see Will Smith shoot guns.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hey. What's to stop him from using his amazing Deadshot powers and shooting you?
I guess all the
Morality.
guards waiting to shoot him. Yeah, that too, morality. Deadshot has never really been a bloodthirsty villain.
He's a mercenary, so obviously he's more of a neutral guy than anything.
All right. So, okay. It's actually got me imagining what would he be like if he were blindfolded and he had to shoot?
Drop it.
Calm down. Briggs, tell your men to stand down. Stand down. Colonel, for the record, this is exactly what I was concerned about. James, if this man shoots me, I want you to kill him. And I want you to go clear my browser history.
I'll just leave that with my
what?
money book. What?
He's
Come again?
he's
The
afraid.
browser history?
He's afraid of troll trace from Denmark, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another problem. This movie's comedy is like the most extreme definition of hit and miss. When it hits, it's actually rather funny, but when it misses, it's either extremely cringeworthy or extremely nonsensical.
Nonsensical I can get by, it's a DC universe, but yeah,
Oh
cringe,
god,
that's...
another license track, really?
Yeah, Tio, this movie... Okay, Stephen
I mean,
Price
again,
must
I
be the most...
understood when Watchmen did this, but why this movie had
Because
to do
that's
it?
remember that Theo, originally it wasn't even meant to be here, but they did it to try to cash in on the fact that people loved it in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh god, fuck, I forgot.
Stephen Price must be either the most pissed off movie composer of 2016 or the most well-paid yet got little done composer, because there's very little of his score in the movie. Most of it's just these random songs, whether it makes sense to put them in here or not.
In Guardians of the Galaxy, the cassette tapes things work, not just because it was also kind of a big part of the main character storyline
It
and
was
shit.
symbolic and everything.
Yeah, it was actually part of the story. It wasn't just done for the hell of it. But also, it worked a lot better because the tone of Guardians of the Galaxy, was even lighter than this one. Whereas this movie, like we said, kind of struggles with trying to find a balance with its tone. Yeah, basically, he wants compensation so he can get his daughter education and all that
So
shit.
Good motivation.
Yeah. Like I said,
Question
of all of the people from the Suicide Squad, El Diablo and Deadshot are by far the most sympathetic.
Well, there's two reasons for that. One of them's played by Will Smith, who wasn't Shyamalanized, and two, El Diablo's the only one where they bothered to give him some degree of development.
Makes sense, honestly, because Harley Quinn, let's be honest, no way they're gonna make that.
You notice these are criminals? Psychotic, antisocial freaks. It makes no sense. Let me hit the tier 1.
There you go. It makes no sense.
We need real soldiers, not these scumbags.
World War II, the U.S. Navy made a deal.
Even generic army captains pointing out how silly this is.
In World War II.
It's World War III.
What are you really up to?
It's a need to know, and all you need to know is you work for me.
I can change with a phone call.
Keep that in mind. Apparently, she has something, some kind of hidden agenda.
Of course. Or...
Okay, generic army captain is played by Joel Kinnaman, I think his name is. Yeah.
He looks familiar.
He played the RoboCop reboot in the RoboCop reboot.
Yeah, don't say.
Complex. It's not just her.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah,
That's classic Joker right there. That Joker loves to write that kind of shit on the wall.
Yep.
Oh,
What the?
that's Darkstar. Hold on.
Darkstar, we're doing the movie at the moment. so-
Yeah, he muted. Paint me like one of your French girls?
Oh, fun fact, Joel Kinnaman's character, he was originally supposed to be played by Tom Hardy, but Hardy had to drop out.
But yeah, and there you go. That's another scene with the Joker over. See, the thing is, I would have liked to at least see more of this Joker before I completely write him off. But for the sake of this, I'll also admit that
Don't taste me, bro.
what we do see of the Joker in this movie is not he's definitely no Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger, shall we say. He's not exactly all that interesting. His performance is very forgettable, honestly.
He's the most boring Joker I've seen on film.
I'm guessing
Whether or not future DC movies will rectify this issue, we'll have to see. But for now, yeah, I don't like this guy at all.
I'll be quite honest, I was never expecting much out of the Joker
So
for this movie in
who
particular.
are these people, and why? Oh wait, this guy is the second in command, the one with the glasses. Had was the one with the joke. Oh, there you go.
There he is.
Why did they kidnap this guy?
Because he knows something.
This is just the Joker being the Joker, Teo. See, the thing is, Teo, the Joker scenes in this movie are kind of pointless. They don't really have anything to do with the actual Suicide Squad plot about
So
stopping
it's
Enchantress.
like in the Silent Hill movie.
Sure, look at that. Because he's just fucking around with his mobsters, and and this doesn't really have anything to do with the Suicide Squad stopping Enchantress. I mean, the only connection he has is that he wants to save Harley Quinn from the clutches of Viola Davis. But that's literally the only connection, and for the most part, he's not even doing anything about it. So,
not to be a bug about it, but I think we should always start referring to that when it actually becomes a plot point element, because as far as I know right now, Enchantress is part of it.
Okay, Enchantress / Dr. Dr. Foster, I don't know.
Oh,
she's played by Cara Delevingne. She's one of them models turned actresses, and I've seen her in what little screen time she had in Pan, and I've seen her in this. So far, I'm not really convinced.
Wait, Carla, what did she play in Pan?
Yeah, nobody. I mean,
the CGI mermaids.
In no hospital whatsoever, we will make you do what you just did. Hygiene.
She played the CGI mermaids in that one, Joe.
Ah, true, yeah.
I can teleport and shit.
Yeah, does she loves the teleportation spam shit?
It's like she's playing peekaboo.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Okay, now she's after the heart because
obviously.
Yep, duh.
Oh God, I forgot about the brother.
The brother.
Yeah, the thing is, Teo, they don't really do a good job at all at introducing Enchantress's brother. He just kind of shows up. And they never explain who he is. They don't explain what he's all about. He's just here to help Enchantress and shit.
Oh, and now he's free.
Yeah, and he took over
this guy's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all introducing this other character 30 minutes into the movie, and like I said, they're not gonna elaborate anything about him.
Okay,
yeah.
I still have to say, okay, it's a good thing that they decided for having, for a villain having actually supposedly one of the team revolting against the other, which makes it's a good idea on paper because it makes so that you technically have less characters to care about instead of actually even the villain to have there. But I don't know.
The weird thing for me is that
I just gotta get something.
The weird thing for me is that I thought Joker would be the villain, maybe, because that's how a lot of these Suicide Squad stories with Harley Quinn on the team tend to turn out.
Yeah, that's the main reason why a lot of people were disappointed about the Joker in this movie, Joe, because the Joker was incredibly prominent in the marketing, so people kind of went in expecting the Joker to have a big role in this, and he doesn't at all. He's just kind of here and there a bit.
Admittedly, I'm pretty sure that they mentioned at some point down the marketing campaign that, yeah, he wasn't going to have that big a role, so that's why I wasn't really expecting much, but I'm really hoping they do something better with him eventually, because, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll let you be the judge of that.
Look at the pretty bunny.
So, Pedro, what's
All
your
right,
take on Jared? So, Pedro, what's your take on Jared Leto's apparent assumptions? I mean, his claims that There were so much better scenes that were cut from him as the Joker.
Well, again, we don't know. I'll take his word. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. For all I know, maybe there is. And like he said, he's not the one deciding which footage makes it in. So for all we know, Jared Leto got screwed over.
Well, the thing is, Jova, we can't judge what could have been. We have to judge what's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone calls an exorcist.
Well, a physician.
Oh, one good thing, this one doesn't seem to have as many jump scares
Oh,
as
shit.
Batman v Superman has.
Oops.
Tentacle Rentai.
Well, snap.
Also, don't worry, guys. I won't be bringing out the alcohol for this one.
And
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to need that. Whoa.
The hell?
And here it is, Enchantress's brother.
What?
He's just
Well,
but for the purposes of this movie, he's just a big, strong, super guy that does shit.
Oh, hey, Superman's dead, so they can't blame him for this.
Will that be something?
Well,
Will
it's
that
a
be
good-
something? They blame someone who's dead.
Well, it's a good
Call
thing.
it-
Well, it's a good thing we're in the DC universe, because if it was in the Marvel universe, that would happen almost guaranteed.
Despite him being dead, yeah.
All right.
And another random song.
Yeah. Again, like I said, this was an attempt to try to cash in on the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, the people who did edit these songs in have no idea why that worked in the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I would like.
Are we sure that this is really an attempt to cash in on that? Because it doesn't even seem like they're using it the same way.
Well, Jova, let me give you a link. Basically, there's an article in Hollywood Reporter how apparently the major reshoots that were done to this movie was because they kind of panicked at the reception of Batman v Superman. So because people were complaining that the movie was too dark and all that shit, and the reshoots and re-editing for this movie because they wanted to try to make it more widely appealing, shall we say?
Okay, I get that, but I'm not really seeing the whole thing about trying to cash in on Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
The songs.
They're injecting them with, basically, Tio.
Plenty of superhero films have had pop culture songs even before Guardians of the Galaxy.
They're injecting them with the "Do Not Escape" device.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. I mean, if anything, I see it more to add to the randomness factor and goofiness to the film, as opposed to trying to cash in on Guardians of the Galaxy, which used the music as a metaphor as well as a plot device sort of attached to the voice recorder.
Wait, why would the guard get that pissed off at some criminal saying, "You're so screwed"?
Well, that guy proved to be an asshole, so maybe he had something to worry about.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Okay, that was funny. Oh, of course. And just for insulting...
Someone dressed as Batman, okay.
Okay, that's definitely... Yeah, okay, yeah. I think I see what you mean about hit and miss when it comes to the Joker, Dwibs. Sometimes he's not that good, but I'll admit other times he definitely seems to be...
Joe, remember, when I said hit and miss, I was referring to the comedy of this movie in general.
I know, Dibs. I was talking specifically, I was attaching your hit and missing to Joker, though.
And that's it. Okay, moving.
That's it.
Okay.
Could we focus on the Joker for more than a minute, please?
So
Yeah.
he actually got already to the fabric where they made those devices.
By the power of editing.
You know what this reminds me of, Dwebs? Reminds me of in Chappie, where every time Hugh Jackman was on screen, it was like 1 minute. Like there was even one shot where all you saw was the back of his head, and I even remember in the commentary I said, "Well, Willis, that was the back of Hugh Jackman's head. I hope you enjoyed it."
Oh, the powerful enchantress escaped.
Shit.
What a shock. She just randomly stabs them.
Well, she actually asked for it.
Well, remember, Dwebs, that the heart is her weakness.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but the way Waller did it just looks silly.
Okay. Well.
So
Oh, he revived her to her younger. So now she looks more like a classical enchantress.
I
Yeah.
don't take it, but
There you
so
go.
now they can share the power.
That makes sense,
Because-
brother and sister, the link by power.
There you go. Enchantress is the villain.
Okay, I can get behind this.
Oh God.
What? What's wrong?
I'll get to that in a moment, Trevor. But for now, there's the doomsday weapon for the film, pretty much. Giant
Does he
beam of
use
light
it?
in the
Does
sky.
it use his dubstep?
No, but
No.
it's a,
Good.
basically Enchantress is trying to do some kind of lightning bolt to do something.
Basically, it looks like
which
they're
city
reaching.
we're in?
Hmm?
Which city is this supposed to be?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
I'm
What-
guessing New York, probably.
Midway.
Okay,
DC
oh.
City, I don't know.
Oh, it's called Midway City.
pacing, guys, pacing. Pick a scene, stick with it for more than a minute, please.
Anyway, to answer your question, it appears to be Midway City that they are at.
Okay.
Okay, so Enchantress escape, so I guess we have to get the Suicide Squad on it.
Okay.
But
Oh,
out
fucking seriously?
of all the Suicide Squad members, only one of
Seven
them.
Nation Army? Are you serious?
Out of all the
Why
Suicide
not?
Squad, okay, I'll just speak. Out of all the Suicide Squad members, only one of them has, proper superpowers. The rest are either just some weird mutated crocodile or people with no powers at all. So what chance do regular people? What chance do the non-powered people have against something like Enchantress?
Beggars can't be choosers, dibs. Although, to be fair, Harley Quinn, like the Joker,
It's the
is
same
one of
having
those special non-powered
It's the
things.
same
It's like
having
with Batman.
Hawkeye and Black Widow in the Avengers.
I really
And also,
love
it's kind of like having Batman on the Justice League.
I really love this joke that just happened with Harley Quinn, one of the better lines in the movie, like where she's thinking,
Yeah. Yeah.
The voices told me I should kill them all. Oh no, I'm just kidding. That's not what they said. No, that's not what they said.
And now, okay. Hey guys, I think I figured out why Jai Courtney is actually pretty good in this movie.
Why?
Because he's playing a villain, and villains are often very fun to play.
No, Joe, but that's not it. Jai Courtney is Australian, but for the most part, he's stuck playing generic American roles.
Oh, hey,
He actually gets to play he actually gets to play an Australian here. Maybe that's what he should stick with at this rate, because he seems to be the best at that.
Hey, Job, I hope
Also,
you.
hi, Slipknot. Okay, basically, Slipknot. Okay, he got his. Okay, bear in mind, he Slipknot got his own poster and his own trailer, and he barely does anything in the movie.
You see, basically, Joe, if you're expecting Slipknot to be awesome in this movie, you're gonna be in for a disappointment.
Who?
Slipknot.
The guy who can climb anything.
Wait, when did they mention him?
They didn't. That's the thing. They didn't even bother.
He
He
looks
just
like
comes in the car and you think that's bad? Wait till another character a bit later.
Anyway, but yeah, basically, Dibs, when it comes to supposedly non-powered beings taking on superpowered beings, trust me, it happens all the time in comic
Yeah.
books.
Seems a bit daft though to me.
Dwibs,
That's
we're
the
we're saying that now with Batman.
Do because they can't see up of
Eminem.
Yeah,
Eminem, seriously.
this song doesn't fit anything that's even going on. Why this song?
Untouched song?
But
Besides, this song was
Eminem
made by
without me.
Eminem to satirize on Michael Jackson and his pedophilia jokes.
Oh, guess who's back? Get it because they're back in action.
not just that. This song. I mean, you could have picked a better song. If you're gonna go for a song, at least pick one that fits better than this one.
I think I get why they're using the song because, guess who's back? They're
Also, in case you're wondering, sorry, Jova, Slipknot actually
The
is a
Peggy
comic
Corn.
book character. We actually have not created him for the movie. He's supposed to be a villain from Firestorm of all people.
Oh, Firestorm.
Well, at least I'll give the movie credit for one thing. They're at least up front with
Hold on.
an aspect of Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Moving on.
definitely enjoying Harley Quinn, I'll admit.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the way she's been characterized. If I'm not mistaken, in the Arkham games. I mean, the clothes even and shit.
Yeah, well, it's original for this movie, but yeah, I can see what you mean.
Harley Quinn's costumes change a lot.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Is she one of those?
What if it's-
Well, I know it sounds crazy, but there was a time where Harley Quinn actually was kind of like an Amazon, along Catwoman supporting character.
In this movie, Harley Quinn is played.
Holly, I believe it was.
In this
Yeah.
movie, Harley Quinn is played by Margot Robbie, who also played Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in Wolf of Wall Street. And
Hey, fun fact, guys. Margot Robbie
Sorry,
was...
hold on,
on, Pedro.
Jova.
Hold on, scene.
Officially, my name is Amanda Waller.
Okay.
Terrorist event in Midway City.
They are Midway City.
Rescue HVT.
Yeah, that's what I said already, Dwibs.
Well, yeah, but the movie just confirmed.
For those of us who don't speak good guys, what is HVT?
HVT1 is a
You can't kill.
yeah that.
Complete the mission, you get time off your prison sentence. Fail the mission, you die. Anything happens to Colonel Flag, I'll kill every single one of you. Remember, I'm watching. I see everything.
I see you masturbate.
There's your pep talk.
Ew.
Compared to your shit, she killed it. So that's it. What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
Oh God!
That was so forced.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Ding.
I mean, we could not find any other way to roll the credits.
Oh.
And there's
hi,
Katana.
Katana.
She just shows up.
Oh, she was busy.
Oh, by the way, this is a backstory.
Wait, hold on. Katana's... No, last I recall, she's not a bad guy. In fact, isn't she a supporting hero?
She probably just tags along because she's a mercenary too. Remember?
Yeah, again, her backstory tends to vary based on the continuity. In fact, quite a few recent ones have gone where she's sort of a prodigy of Batman's.
In this one, in this one, she hates all criminals because they killed her husband.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They kept. I think they kept the thing about her katana trapping the souls and everything.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
thing, Teo. They don't ever do anything with it. In fact, Katana has no point whatsoever in this movie. She has like 1 or 2 scenes, and that's it. She doesn't do anything in this movie.
She's the most
Again.
useless character in the whole movie.
Again, I repeat, Katana doesn't really have much business being in the Suicide Squad because she's not even really a villain of sorts.
Well, technically, she's
Well,
here with,
Pedro
she's here
was
with,
sorry, Jova, there was that time when she went on her free with the outsiders.
Oh, they're going for that one?
No, but
okay.
I don't know. But there was a time where. Also, when did
Wait.
Harley Quinn got a smartphone?
why
Bad editing.
Why did he even let her have her phone?
That's just a thing,
Oh.
Webs. It's probably one of the scenes that it's probably.
gross.
Oh, okay, I get it. They seem to be hinting that she had Wayland hold on for her. As in, stomach it crocodile style.
Anyway, Webs, they probably left the scene where she does get the phone on the cutting room. That's the thing.
No, I saw her getting. I saw her having the phone back when we transported her. She had it in her hand. I saw her there, but I don't know how she got that.
If I read that scene correctly, they seem to be implying that Killer Croc had it in his stomach all that time.
Yeah.
Yikes!
Because crocodiles can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they told you, but I'm a hitman. I'm not a fireman. I don't save people. Anything for $1, right? You know the dark place.
Well, time off your prison sentence in this case, but still.
And you're a serial killer who takes a credit card. You shoot and it will.
Okay, lines like that are welcome.
So yeah, there you go. Morality.
Well, I'll take any. Well, for almost any line will be welcome after that. Bit of, oh, okay. Believe it or not, this
Who was shooting them?
one of Enchantress's henchmen, I think. Oh yeah, and by the way, this isn't the first major helicopter crash where people who should die don't in this movie.
Really, Dwips, you're gonna go on about how people should die from certain things but don't in a superhero movie?
But that's the problem, Joe. But half of them aren't even
They
superheroes.
that helicopter landing was so clearly CGI.
Yeah, hey, that's why they survived it. It was computer generated.
Dwebs,
they
it's an action movie. You have to suspend disbelief in these things. Come on.
Well, it's one thing when it happens once, but it happens multiple times in this movie.
Again, Dwibs, action movie. Seriously, you can't possibly be a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and somehow be someone who
Yeah,
hates
you will.
us.
If you do that, you will have a very hard time in Commando because there's a scene where the bad guys pretty much act full stormtrooper.
I've already seen Commando.
Yeah, but then you should know. There's a scene when he's right in the open and every bullet misses him.
And he jumps
Yeah,
off
that's
from
the
a
thing,
plane.
though. Well, the difference between Commando and this, Commando was at least fun. So any off-kilter things like that, I can overlook. I don't think this movie's that particularly fun.
It's
okay. Yeah,
it's
I tend to notice.
It's what I
Well,
keep,
fine.
exactly. It's what I keep saying. It's exactly what I keep saying about movies and games and all that stuff. A movie should be fun and entertain the viewer to distract the viewer from any possible flaws it might have. This movie doesn't entertain Dwebs at all, so obviously he's going to notice the flaws a lot more.
The guy that can climb anything is trying to escape.
Whee!
And there we go. That Slipknot is dead.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 minutes into the mission and he's dead.
Well,
Ah.
I guess he asked for it, but still.
Why did you even bother putting him
get
in
it,
this movie?
Get it? Killer app because he pressed the button on his app and he died.
It's funny. Okay, Dwibs, we get it. You don't like that. Although I found
it's part
that
for the
funny.
repertoire of Joke and Harley Quinn for spawns, but you may not laugh.
Yeah, I'll admit though that one made me laugh, but it's funny because that kind of references that New 52 comic where Harley Quinn made a game, and well, the latest game update made every system on it blow up and probably kill a lot of people, men, women, and children alike.
Okay, two things. One, so why did you even bother putting Slipknot in this movie if you're going to have him do anything? Second,
They wanted someone to, demonstrate the power of those things, color things.
I guess,
sense.
but couldn't it? Whatever, fine, whatever.
Well, then again, they chose a character that's pretty much obscure and never had major appearances, so
Second,
I
Yeah,
guess
I'll-
that fit.
What's problem number 2, Pedro?
Second thing, this is the part of the movie where the story pretty much completely stops dead in its tracks, and we just watch the Suicide Squad walk around through the city streets.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through. What's gonna be for the rest of the movie?
Right. Anyway, I will say though, I agree with Tio though. Slipknot was probably the best character for that to happen to him, if only because throwaway character,
Yeah.
might as well use him to show the whole "you disobey us and you blow up" thing.
It's always that fine line you have to tread. When it comes to making movies like this, you have to try and you have to try best to appeal to both camps of comic book fans and those who don't read comic books but watch these movies anyway.
Well, Dwibs, I don't
Like
think this really has
myself.
much. Well, Dwibs, this doesn't really seem to have much to do with knowing about the original comic book stuff, so you're fine
Yeah.
there. I mean, you're fine there. So, I mean, and in regards to that, they've pretty much got that down pat in making a equal balance film. In fact, I'll admit, for as weird as the editing has been, I'm not that confused with this movie's plot, surprisingly. I mean, yeah.
Well,
okay, a
no,
lot
the
of
plot is
editing
incredibly
scripty.
simple. There's nothing to be confused about.
What I'm saying is, I get this plot, and I'm genuinely interested to see where it goes. I mean, mainly because I get the feeling that they're setting for it to be carried by, of course, the plot-heavy villains, but also get some more funny stuff with the lesser ones, which could work.
Poor Captain Boomerang gets no love.
Well, hey, at least it's better than his role in Identity Crisis.
Well, believe me, if you actually gave him his traditional costume, we would have laughed your ass from the start to the finish of the movie. It's one of those costumes that cannot work at all in a movie.
So it's like the bad guy's outfit at the finale.
I'll
of
give you an image to understand better, but you'll agree when they say that they did a better choice with this attire.
Scoping the parameter for aliens. No, not those kind of aliens, sirs.
Wouldn't
I
that be
mean
something?
the guitars.
The guys, hide yourselves behind wooden doors. That'll stop him.
Okay, I guess to the movie's credit also, Katana doesn't seem to be so much a member of the team as much as someone who's there to help keep
Tag
him in
along.
check.
Yeah, I was trying to say earlier. She's more with
The committee, yeah. And basically,
with Army Guy than the squad.
Yeah, Rick Flag.
it makes sense. I mean, she's there to help keep the Suicide Squad in check.
Well, the most she's had to do so far is hold a sword to.
What's the
Are we in
scanner
The Last
level
of
say?
Us now?
Hey, Deadshot, what does the scanner level say on his power?
Are
They're
those?
powerful.
Yeah, are these the zombies infected by the shrooms of The Last of Us? I forgot the name.
The shrooms.
Yeah, it's a shroom. I forgot that. God damn it! I'll remember that in a second. Give me a second.
The lack of product placement is interesting.
I don't think Batman v Superman had much product placement in it either.
Then again, I'm not
At
really one
least
who
not that I
looks
can
out for
remember.
product placement anyway.
There you go, cordyceps. That's the term I was looking for. But yeah, these looks like generic zombies.
Well, still not as generic as the ones in Metal Gear Zero Surviving, I'll give him that.
Well, no, Jova, those are crystal zombies.
Okay, action scenes like this are really hard.
Whoa.
Okay, is it okay? I think action scenes filmed during the night is one of the hardest things you can do.
Really?
Yeah, the lightning has
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
true,
balanced
yeah.
enough. It
True,
has to
yeah.
be effective to be, still night. But you actually have to see something.
That said, though, I can actually get a good inkling of what's going on here, surprisingly, so plus to that.
Well, the bar to be higher. When the bar to be higher than is that scene in
Oh.
Alone in the Dark.
No, let's not compare this to Alone in the Dark. I mean, this movie has problems, but nowhere near much that.
So the key
Pink
thing is to
pony?
slice the top of their heads, I guess.
Yes.
Also, I just saw the picture, and
Yeah,
why does it look like he looks like he's got birds on his chest.
they actually are boomerangs. Remember, Captain Boomerang is one of those products of the Silver Age that actually got stuck even in the modern age, and they had to kind of justify his silly behaviors.
All right, and
Thank Grant Morrison for that.
okay, as they said earlier, if Army Guy dies,
Yeah,
then
all of them are killed, right?
yeah, Waller's gonna kill all of them.
Oh, slow-mo.
Bang bang, explosions, gunfire, excitement.
Yeah.
Bing. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love how.
He's kind of stealing the action, dude.
Well, he is Will Smith.
Well, when Will Smith's in a movie, I mean, if you shoving him into the background isn't a good idea.
No.
I suppose.
That'd be like if you had an ensemble team movie and you shoved Tom Cruise into the background. That's never going to work. Stop! Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah. Come on. That's from Lord of the Rings. Well, technically still a Warner Bros. Movie, so legit.
You're the fire bloke. Wow, Jai Courtney isn't monotone. Pinch me, guys. I must be dreaming.
Yeah.
What are they? I don't know. That's bullshit. Thing has on a $3,000 watch. Is that a person? It was.
Now it's not.
How cryptic.
We got a job to do.
Okay.
Right, that was competently done, but ultimately just run-of-the-mill shooty action scene there. Let's move on.
Well, it gave pretty much every character its time to shine.
It's like I said,
Aside
it's
from El
competently
Diablo,
done.
but again, I guess we're warming it up for the final battle.
That
or
was, that,
something.
that was probably one of the few their scenes that was actually left intact for the most part.
Yeah, alright, okay. Here's how she gets more people in her army.
With that cordyceps thing.
She kisses him.
Oh, charming.
The snog of transformation.
Yeah, it's
Oh god, this just reminds me of something, but I'm not sure if I can spoil it right now.
Oh, okay. This is what this. Okay, what?
Oh,
okay,
no, here's the scene from the trailer that I really like.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
True.
Why are Clegg still allowed that?
Because
Right now he's
Because-
priorities.
guys, well, yeah, in case you were confusing, what the smiley from Watchmen, of course.
Priorities.
all right. Okay. A little bit earlier, okay, it was hard to see her, but for the majority of the remainder of this movie, all Enchantress does is this weird hula dance.
That's just the thing. They took the Enchantress and pretty much marvelized her. By that I mean she's your typical villain that just wants to, in this case, destroy everything, and she's not interesting in as far as this movie is concerned. I mean, she's not interesting in any way, shape, or form. She's just she's just the goal of the plot, basically.
The music choices in this movie are so random. I'm surprised you didn't throw in like a Hawaiian hula dance song while she was doing that.
I'm dancing through the danger.
Thankfully, it's not that random.
Hey, Java, maybe we could get Christina V singing "Dancing Through the Danger" every time Enchantress is on screen.
Is that from Moana?
No. The main theme of Half Genie Hero,
Basic.
Oh, right.
sung by Christina V.
Darkness and shit.
Walter Hydeman, Elo's extractors off the roof. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time.
Thank
No.
goodness
Dun,
no.
dun, 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 dun.
Dante left his motorcycle apparently.
Okay,
Oh,
Margot, you put it to good
Oh,
use.
there you go. It's actually the Joker's motorcycle. Or rather, her motorcycle, whatever. Whatever. The point is, it's from... Harley Quinn knows it. That's the purpose, basically. So basically, the Joker is ignoring her.
Typical.
And like any codependent woman who can't live with... Who can't...
Oh
who-
my god, I just realized. Remember how they did this in Twilight? Well, in Twilight, they were trying to present that as a good thing, whereas here they actually recognize it as a bad thing.
You're not kidding me!
Okay, that's another good.
Everything you every trial, every initiation, I have proved I love you just
Sweetie, you have to understand.
Okay,
The Joker is a complicated guy.
Yeah, basically, here's the backstory.
I don't know whether it's sorry. I don't know. I don't know what's the problem here. I don't know whether it's they're trying to do something from previous stuff. They just don't do it very well, or if it's the incompetent editing.
Basically, to give you an idea, Harley Quinn's story
This
is
is
that
actually pretty much. Oh, go on.
the Harley Quinn story in the animated series, which is where she was created, she's a Joker fangirl. She's literally crazy about the Joker, which is why she basically eventually becomes the female Joker, basically. And that's pretty much what they're doing here as well. Like she's literally obsessed with the Joker.
The thing
unhealthily.
is, their
Unhealthily. She's
their relationship is a bit abusive and very violent.
yeah.
But regardless of that, even in their darker moments, they still show that even someone as the Joker actually loves her. Surprisingly.
Well, and to be fair, there are
the-
moments in this movie where he does show that. It's just that it's again the Joker doesn't have that much screen time in this movie, so they don't really give enough time for us to get fully invested in their relationship. That's the problem.
That's actually a complaint I've heard from most comic book fans about the movie. They turn the whole abusive relationship thing into a straight romance.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, and honestly, Dibs, people have been arguing about that in the comic books ever since it was an actual abusive romance. I'll admit I am the one who actually prefers the romance. I mean, yeah, it's screwed up, but it's actually interesting to see Joker have something of a vulnerability for Harley Quinn. And for the most part, despite the fact that he doesn't have that much screen time, the movie does seem to be using that screen time for at least, well, thankfully, what I hoped for, more fleshing out of Harley Quinn's backstory. Although it is, then again, lots of movies. At least that's nicely done.
Okay, I'm not gonna be that unbearable of a curmudgeon and do an exaggerated groan every time she tells a joke. So I'll just be silent.
I mean, to be fair, I'd say this is more so a case of like, well, whether or not you like that sort of humor as opposed to the humor actually being bad.
Not just that, but not just that. Regardless of what you think of the writing, I still think Harley Quinn is doing a fantastic job of what she's being given.
Fun fact, actually,
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Margot Robbie is she's definitely got the persona down. Like this is always how I've imagined Harley Quinn to act, like in a live action movie. But go ahead.
I just wish the material was better as well.
Yeah.
Which material though? Because
The writing,
as far as
the writing he means.
Yeah, the writing, especially when it comes to wacky, crazy humor.
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree. Yep, I'll definitely agree to disagree. I mean, don't get me wrong. The writing isn't necessarily gold, but as far as Harley Quinn and Deadshot go, it's pretty fun.
Well, yeah, most people.
Volume up, but, I'm watching it on the TV, so I would turn the volume up, but Jover's acute sense of hearing would go off. So
yeah, not just that. Well, Jover, that's just the thing. Like, I agree with you there. Like, and again, most people tend to agree at least, that Deadshot and Harley Quinn are the best portrayed characters in the movie. El Diablo is also a close third for me. Yeah, I agree with this here. I do like Deadshot and Harley Quinn more for one specific reason. They do focus more on them. El Diablo could have been just as good as just as entertaining as Harley Quinn and Deadshot if they focused more on him. And yeah, I will agree with Dwebs that El Diablo is actually, when he is on screen, he's actually really well portrayed. The problem is that he's underutilized. That's the problem. Like, look, when was the last time we even focused on him?
Similar thing goes.
That's a problem with most of the members of the Suicide Squad. I mean, okay, like we said, aside from Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and
El Diablo to a lesser extent,
and El Diablo, the rest are really underutilized.
They're just kind of there.
I'll admit though, with Killer, yeah, actually, never mind. It's like, Killer Croc actually is way simple. You think, well, I mean, okay, what they do with Killer Croc is nice, and he looks like a good take on Killer Croc. So
it's just that honestly, this movie didn't need him.
Yeah.
I mean, see, here's the thing. Suicide Squad, of course, as a member of it.
I mean, okay, you want another Batman villain that maybe you don't want to use in the main movie, but why Killer Croc of all people?
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, another weird
pop song, yeah. I'm sure this will not be dated at all.
What song even is that?
What they should have, if they wanted to go with songs, Taylor brings up a good point actually. If they wanted to go with songs, they could have picked more timeless songs. Like for example, the ones in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, let's be fair. I
The
kind of had to.
80s.
I'll be honest. I kind of had to look up those ones too. So
Okay, fine.
If we're talking.
Okay, fine. Let me give examples. Like for example, that when they had "With Me" from Eminem earlier, instead of "With Me," which is a song that's not really even remembered that well nowadays because Eminem has stopped being relevant for quite a few years now.
Actually, I hear a lot of people still use that
Anyway,
song,
let me-
mainly
let
the
me
Guess Who's
finish.
Back part. But go on.
Like they could have used something by Michael Jackson, something more iconic, because Michael Jackson's songs from the 80s and early 90s are something that plays on the radio all the time. Everybody knows about them.
Yeah, although copyrights are pain with those two.
True,
Go on.
True, but again, if you're gonna put, Warner Brothers is a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm pretty sure they could
Did he
afford.
not stab?
Yeah, true that.
Hell, I think when it comes to films that use when it comes to films that use popular songs, I think the one that had the best use of them this year 2016 was Deadpool.
Did you notice how? Captain Boomerang was stabbed and was saved by that pile of money?
Blow of money,
The problem
Yeah.
is, if you paid attention to his earlier scenes, he didn't ever actually stuff that in his coat. What he stuffed was an actual pink plushy unicorn, and yet the plushy pink unicorn is now never to be seen again in the movie. So what the fuck was up with
Also,
what the fuck was
His
up with
coat
that?
is magic.
I guess.
Also, guys, cover shot. That was
Yeah.
literally them doing the cover pose.
Oh look, even this movie has a cover system. I'm sorry, I'm never letting that go.
Yeah.
It makes
Never
no
forget.
sense. It makes no sense.
Smart, setting him off to make him use
Guys,
his
now
powers.
is really not the time.
Yeah.
Well, Dwayne,
Hurting therapy dweebs usually works.
He was trying to
Yeah,
get El Diablo to actually help and shit. The problem is that
so he's setting him off.
the problem is that yeah, there you go. Exactly. This is exactly why he didn't want to use his powers.
He's OP. Please, Nintendo Nerf.
He's way
Because it's
he's way too dangerous, and let's just say he doesn't like ravaging.
Using his power,
Yeah.
if he were any less careful, he'd have burned down the whole building with them in it.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute.
Margot, I don't know about you, Theo, but I honestly think Margot Robbie plays a fantastic Harley Quinn. Again, regardless of the writing, let's just talk. Let's just talk in terms of performance.
Again, Pedro, honestly, to me, pretty much all the characters are fine so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much screen time each one gets. Because, like, Killer Croc is, again, portrayed just fine, and they literally gave you all his backstory that there is to him. I mean, to be fair, Killer Croc was never
It's the idea of a
guys.
character being in this movie that doesn't seem
And
to
there we go, Jova. There you go.
Well, okay, I'll give this movie this. It is definitely fleshing her out later into the film, so good for them.
I just wish they would have done this earlier, though.
Well, yeah, it's weird, because they showed a little sneak peek of this during the start, but there's no the actual one. Of course, the ultimate test for his love in this case. Dip into a vat of,
The same kind of liquids. Basically, it was in the original. Well, actually, you've seen Batman '89, didn't you? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, then you know. Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
That's pretty much. At first, the backstory of the Joker was always left in ambiguity in order to give some mystery to the character. But ever since Alan Moore wrote The Killing Joke, they just stick to that.
Yeah,
story.
mostly in the Frank Miller, Christopher.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on, wait. I don't recall Frank Miller actually ever really referencing Killing Joke, because actually in Killing Joke, Barbara...
I'm not talking about Killing Joke. I'm talking about how usually in the Frank Miller continuity, the Joker is more, well, he like they don't show us Frank Miller. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's a comic book and I'm missing, but Frank Miller has never really focused on the backstory of the Joker, has he?
No, not
most
really.
people
No.
don't these days.
Then
Joker
again, we're talking about the
has
same people
this one.
who portrays the Joker as never smiling.
Yeah,
but,
basically, Dwebs.
Yeah.
To give you a film example, Dwebs. Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy is heavily inspired by Frank Miller. Like I said, Batman Begins, for all intents and purposes, is an adaptation of Batman Year One. And much like Frank Miller, the focus is more on the backstory of Batman, and Joker's backstory is kept kind of in a mystery to give a sense of mystery about the character and menace and shit. So it's the same thing. And here they're going back to actually giving more of a backstory for the Joker, the classic backstory of the chemicals.
What's
Oh, what
with
do you
the,
know?
what's with
Oh,
the
what do you know?
paint?
Okay. Allow
because
me to
their
explain.
clothes
Allow
are
me to
melting
explain.
away.
Anyway,
That
yeah,
was a bad
I guess-
transition.
Yeah.
Anyway, so wouldn't you know, they're actually explaining why her hair had two different colors in it. Basically, in the original New 52 comic, for some reason, instead of one color, her hair got changed into red and blue. Here, they actually explain it because I guess it's the colors that brought off her clothes, I guess, so, and got mixed in there. Yes, you are, dearie.
Right,
Still
so now
got
we're
this
in
one.
the conference room.
Again, they're
guess.
still surprisingly pretty much gone this whole movie without a jump scare.
Why
Nah,
should
nah,
they even?
well, I can assure you, Joe, but there's no jump scares in this movie. So
I mean,
The problem,
they don't
the problem with
have.
the
They
thing
don't really
jump
have any
scares.
reason to have one.
Again, that was one of my main issues with Batman v Superman, was the abundance of jump scares and all of a sudden loud noises out of nowhere.
but Jova, Zack Snyder wants to be intense and shit.
Let's go.
You wouldn't have made it without them.
Got lucky. I don't do luck. I do planning and precision.
But yeah, like I was saying, I was trying to talk about it earlier. The thing is, Captain Boomerang, of course, got saved by that pile of money when he was stabbed with that arrow and shit. The problem is, it's a case of weird pacing when it comes to the editing, because like we said, ever since the beginning of the movie, like when Captain Boomerang was introduced with that text on screen, it said fetish, pink unicorns, okay, and then we showed him stuffing a pink unicorn plushie on his coat, okay, that fits what we've established so far, and then we even saw him drop it, and then he put it in his coat again, okay, fine, and then when he gets stabbed in the exact spot where he put the pink unicorn in his coat, suddenly there's no pink unicorn. It's a bag of okay. For those,
Bait and switch.
it's but that's the thing. We never saw it happen. It's just weird. You'd expect the pink unicorn. I guess they're trying to subvert your expectations or something. But at the same time, you should still show the pink unicorn. Otherwise, what's the point of showing him? Oh, here we go.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah, there you go.
Why
Teo.
is she killing all the FBI agents?
Hold on, Teo. She's about to explain. We're about to learn about her hidden agenda.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, gangster stuff.
Yo.
Basically, turns out
Okay.
Viola Davis was actually a hero all along, and then she starts killing people because it's.
It's
Hold on.
it's morally grey.
Let's go home.
Hey, let's get high. That sounds good. You guys want to get high? We want to go back to prison.
Who are you, Tali? Wanna get high?
What I'm saying is, we kill the pair of them now before they kill us.
I got this. Ding.
Yes, Katana, stand there and
I'm Viola
Stand
Davis.
there.
I'm Viola Davis.
Hold on, let's listen. Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
yeah, remember, you guys can still be
Blown away by expectation. There you go. Okay, that was random.
Yeah, I think you guys can boil down what kind of comedy I don't really like.
Sure.
Not really, you're still rather fickle.
Anyway, the point is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm a bit fickle, but yeah, but the kind of comedy I don't really like is just the random stuff.
Light it up!
Okay.
I'm guessing you're.
Please,
Judging from your reactions in our commentaries, I'm guessing you're more of a fan of character-driven.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
You're more of a fan of a character-driven humor, like say the stuff
Hold
we see,
on.
the humor in Professor Layton, for example.
Yeah.
So was the Joker or Jack the Helicopter? Okay.
What, I got a hickey or something?
Hey, a hickey. What's a hickey?
Well, remember, Dwebs,
Something that shows
Oh,
up
there
on
we
your
go.
back.
With his
Now.
arm there.
she just noticed that it's the Joker. I love how he's dressed as a groom.
Yeah.
Wait, is it?
That's just
Yeah.
she's like I said, she's just that. No, she doesn't even care about anything else. She just wants to get the Joker.
Da, 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 da,
Surprised,
Yeah.
surprised the joke. I'm surprised the Joker didn't tell his men, "Don't shoot. You might hit Harley." Or something."
Quibs, you're really expecting the Joker to be sane and coherent like that.
The Joker.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't want his
No.
love to.
Not really, Dwebs. Sure, not really, Dwebs. If Harley Quinn died, the Joker would go, "Oh, okay, all right. I guess I don't have a girlfriend anymore."
Remember, abusive relationship.
Knowing Joker, if Harley Quinn eventually died, he would go, whatever, then eventually miss her, then hire another Harley Quinn.
Okay, so
That's what he
Deadshot's
does.
now about to kill her because, well, you
Betrayal.
traitor.
Oh no, I'm totally believing it.
I had a vision of a world without Harley Quinn, and it was so boring.
Are you referencing Emperor Joker?
Actually,
Because that
I'm,
would be so awesome.
actually, I'm referencing the Dark Knight.
Mentions how. In.
Okay, so he missed deliberately.
Oh, right.
I'm referencing that.
Never
one of the-
mind. I get it. Sorry.
Wait,
So, do you ever figure
I
out why
thought
she
one of
just killed
the,
a shoulder there?
I thought one of her edicts was if you do anything against us, you die or something.
Again, Dwibs, her nanomachines got disabled.
It was just Harley's though.
That's who I said, hers.
No, I meant Dead. I was talking about Deadshot.
She didn't notice that because only Deadshot could see it through the scope.
Anyway, it's pretty obvious that that shot missed on purpose.
Was that
Okay.
a William screen?
Not that I noticed.
Okay, I'm convinced. David Ayer must really hate helicopters.
Let's do it.
Well,
It's
well,
like
well,
it's like X-Men. It's like X-Men villains with.
Oh.
It's like the X-Men films with bridges.
Oh, goody, they're
Wait,
doing
what
this.
the?
Oh, I
Oh.
see. I see. They're paying so they're paying another homage to Mad Love, where the Joker apparently dies in the end.
Yeah, sorry, not believing this.
yeah.
He has a whole troop named after him called Joker.
There's no way they were. No one, and I mean no one, bought this at all because there's
why
no
we even fight then?
no way would they have the balls to kill the most the most popular DC villain of all time within 3 movies. That's
Okay, okay.
No, it's supposed movie debut apparently, which
Oh.
was not even regarding him.
Okay. Honestly, this is something that I would expect even the filmmakers know that no one's going to buy because let's be honest, Joker has a trope named after him called Joker immunity. Okay, look, not to be too much in defense of this movie, but I'm sure even the makers of this movie pretty much knew everyone wasn't going to buy it because, well, again, it's kind of become Joker's gimmick to escape death whatsoever.
Then why'd they put it in the movie? Then it just comes off as a waste of time.
To help Harley Quinn escape. Oh, so that's how he
well,
does
actually,
it.
I have a theory. My guess is it's just so that she can actually stop obsessing over the Joker and focus on the mission.
Possibly that too. We'll just see
Okay.
what happens.
Because the thing is, if the Joker was kept alive all this time, maybe she wouldn't even be able to focus, and we wouldn't have to have.
Oh
her...
god, Amanda Waller is packing heat!
Well, she is. She is Viola Davis. So
All right. So
that's gangsta.
is this gonna? Okay, if future films do this like a if future films do to helicopters what the X-Men films do with bridges, that's quite an interesting trend.
That's one of the big problems with the fact that again, I'm going through the actual official statement that Zack Snyder and the other executives gave. That's the problem you have when you have a cinematic universe where instead of having one person, making sure there's an overall consistency about how things are done for the sake of the universe feeling more consistent and believable and all that shit. Whereas the DC Extended Universe, again, I'm going by the words of Zack Snyder and the other executives, where they just let each filmmaker, just do whatever. As a result, the movies end up becoming, like with Patty Jenkins directing Wonder Woman, for example. I mean, that movie will probably look different, also incredibly different than the other the three DC movies. Since there's no Kevin Feige actually, trying to unify and make sure. Okay, let's talk with Marvel.
I'll be quite honest. I'm not really seeing about a world inconsistency between the movies. I mean, look, I get the different styles, but I get the continuity between the world we're talking about. Because honestly, I mean, the whole wacky supervillain stuff doesn't seem too out of bounds with the DC Cinematic Universe.
Well, I mean, this tone is a radical shift from Batman v Superman, which is why it's a bit...
I'll be quite honest. I feel like it has both the dark, gritty elements from that, but mixing in some new humorous stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect by any means, but I'm definitely seeing a sense of transition as opposed to a complete different change, and it doesn't really bug me that much, honestly. I mean, okay. Maybe it's because, I got hyped up by so many people telling me, oh, it's so terrible and so drastically different, but it doesn't really feel that different from the other movies. Okay. Maybe it feels different from Man of Steel, but to be fair, and also felt like a bridge between those two, so...
That's me and...
2 out of them.
Heart.
I mean, is she orgasming?
When it comes to... That's the thing, though. I don't want the DC universe to be just the Marvel Cinematic Universe again, just with DC characters. I got no problem with them trying a different tone to make them stand out from Marvel, because if all films followed the Marvel formula, it gets stale really quickly.
Yeah, I agree. And again, the same thing happens in that same thing. It makes sense to even because
goody tentacle hentai.
It makes sense. It makes sense to us because even in the comics, DC comics have always been a bit more edgier and mature. It's stuff like Batman, for example. It's mostly because of stuff like Batman and other stuff.
Actually, Batman himself has even gotten more upbeat than the typical Marvel universe.
Honestly, Joe, he was referring to what these comics are taking inspiration from. So basically, the Bronze/Dark Age between the 80s and the early 2000s.
Oh wait, hold on. But aren't they taking inspiration from the New 52? It even shows in the costumes.
Partially, Joe.
Partially.
For the concept itself is from the middle,
The middle.
And to be fair,
and that's where the time where yes, Marvel was facing through its arc. You had stupid shit like Thunderstrike.
It's like I was just gonna finish. My problem isn't that DC are trying to go for a more darker tone compared to Marvel. My problem is that A, they're doing it badly, and B, because they hit the panic button, they're all of a sudden trying to be like Marvel all of a sudden.
Okay. Nope. This is not really I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'll admit, they were trying to go after Marvel with the whole cinematic universe thing, but this does not feel like the Marvel universe. I mean, honestly, the Marvel Universe definitely has a more consistent tone of being more upbeat as opposed to mixing in dark and gritty to the levels of Suicide Squad with out-of-your-pants random humor.
We're already one step into MCU. You got the forgettable villain.
Well, then again... Oh, right, Enchantress. Well, okay, so forgettable villain. Fair enough. But, honestly...
Wait, didn't I just see this?
Oh, they're going to show us what happened during it. Okay. Oh, that's what...
For a second there, I thought my disc skipped back to that scene, and...
yeah, I thought so too, but yeah, okay, so they actually explained that scene. But yeah, okay. So they just have a villain who happens to be forgetful, like Marvel's usual villain. Coincidence.
Oh yeah, and here we are. We're about to get, if I remember correctly, the best scene in the movie. The bar scene. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The problem, the bar scene is okay. My issue is how it ends.
Why is Katana tagging with them?
So, from what I can gather, I guess Amanda Waller was
Yeah,
being
there you go.
influenced by the Enchantress.
There you go, Joe. Apparently, Katana is now officially a part of the squad because she also bailed out on Rick Flag to go with them to the bar.
Well, considering Amanda Waller's strict rule of you fail, you die.
It's like I was saying, I don't mind this scene. My big issue is how it ends, quote unquote.
Oh, come on, well, come on. It's the end of the world and you're drinking from a can.
I expect nothing less.
You're Irish. At least have a pint of beer.
Whiskey.
Wait.
Tough cow.
Sorry, there's problems.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh my god. I just realized. She's wearing an outfit similar to Tifa's with the whole belt straps and all thing, and she owns a bar. Well, not quite so much owns a bar, but
She's using as a bartender.
Well, it's not like anyone's going to be fighting back for it anytime soon.
yeah. This reminds me of Final Fantasy VII a bit. Hmm.
Despite what everybody thought. We weren't picked to succeed.
So in essence, we were all played like a dang fiddle.
They're gonna blame us for the whole thing.
Yeah.
They can't have people knowing the truth. We're the patsies. Cover up.
Okay. I'll give this movie credit. It is actually taking a good look into the ethics of the Suicide Squad. +1 for them on that. In fact, the comics did that a bit of times, but this is actually really
remember,
good looking
Joe,
back.
the comics also changed the composition of a team almost on a number basis. So we constantly had different people all around. It's kind of like the Exiles of the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
For this, why I can understand things like this because we help strengthening them as a team.
Mm-hmm. I can see why they focused on some villains more so than others, because let's be honest with Killer Croc. Yeah, not much to him. Captain Boomerang.
I mean,
okay.
Joe, with Boomerang, they seem to are doing the Morrison way. So taking something silly from the Silver Age and updating it to a more darker and disturbing concept of why he's called Captain Boomerang and why he's using that.
I know it may sound weird, but in regards to how they've actually chosen to portray the characters themselves, I actually like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not the best way, but compared to how other superhero films do, this is actually, I swear, I can't believe I'm saying this. This feels like an actual better start for the DC Cinematic Universe.
Okay, now they're going to. Now he's talking about why he, pretty much decided I'm not going to use my fire powers anymore.
We kind of already get that. Oh, okay. Let's hear him explain it.
He had a family.
Mm.
6 dinars and 5.
God didn't give me this. Why should he take it away?
What,
Yeah,
did you get it from Nero?
the little I recall about El Diablo is that is from the old Western series of the DC Comics. That's why they made him Mexican and everything.
I don't know what I do.
Yes. There you go, Dwebs.
Ooh.
There you
Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't show him blowing up the house because
We didn't want to.
Well,
we're trying
it's
to be less dark in this one.
Still,
Nah.
what a sad story.
Yeah. Ouch. I see what you mean, though. They definitely get me to care about the characters that, they flesh out enough.
Again, aside from Katana, I really don't understand why she's tagging along with them.
I agree.
Was she in the Suicide Squad originally?
I think she may have been in one of them.
No, remember, she was more... She went for a bit with Batman, and as I mentioned, when for some reason they made them with the Outsiders.
Let me take a look to see if there was a version of a Suicide Squad with Katana. Like you said, there's so many.
But even in this case, she's just a subordinate of Rick Flag, more like a government agent. Kind of like Mockingbird in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And now she's taking, I guess she took them in sympathy or something.
Hey, Whips, it's him, the one they call El Diablo.
Done.
Alright.
Huh.
Yeah, true. Oh.
Aww. Also, yeah, apparently at some point Katana did join the Suicide Squad in the comics. Founded by... I might as well copy and paste it.
And now Colonel Angry is
Discount Orlando Bloom.
He's had second thoughts and he doesn't want to go through with it anymore.
Okay. To be fair, in the comics, she didn't exactly join the Suicide Squad, but she, like in the movie, was also checking around to see if they needed to be kept in check and whatnot. And someone assist.
But now, because we don't approve of Yolo's Davis methods anymore, now we're siding with the Suicide Squad, basically.
Well, admittedly, those were always questionable methods to begin with, so yeah, I can see where this comes from.
well, there goes the thingy.
Killer app. Yeah. Taking no chances, Boomerang.
Pragmatic.
And there you go, the letters that his daughter has been sending him.
Okay, I will again credit this movie. This scene definitely does feel earned.
Yeah, this is like I said, Joe. This is overall. The general consensus is that this is the best scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I get the complaints about them not focusing on the other villains, but by focusing mainly on the villains that they flesh out well, I will say that does help this movie from being disaster.
Like I said, my overall thoughts in this movie, like I said when I first saw it, is that it's a mixed bag. There are quite a few good things in it, but at the same time, there's quite a lot of bad things about it as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag, in general.
Although, I guess to me, I feel like, well, yeah, there are quite a few bad things, but those bad things kind of feel minor in comparison to the good. Well, so far anyway. I guess I'll just wait to see if the ending either ends on a good note or screws everything up.
Well, it ends on a good note. It's just that the climax is incredibly generic.
Well, I'll wait and see. I guess so far my thoughts are I'm enjoying this.
Oh, wait till the end. There you go. Let me guess, pose shot or anything.
Hey, Boom.
Also, he's back
there
with the
you
team.
go, pose.
Okay, so he
Team
walked
shot,
off
though.
and now he's back with the team because...
Well, that's kind of been his running humor, honestly.
Solidarity, Twibs. We take some in sympathy. It's understandable, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he ran off
All
and
right.
now he's...
Trust me, Twins. A lot of people would definitely...
It's the same. It's the same thing we discussed about the Magnificent Seven remake, Twibs.
Also, Samsung.
Eh.
Okay, now Boomerang's gonna...
Hey.
Boomerang's using his camera as a...
Oh, no,
Yeah, I
it's
use the
fine.
boomerang with a... The thing is...
Boomerang? A boomerang?
Yeah, but basically, Twibs, the gist of Captain Moore is that he has a boomerang with just a tool for a tool for every job.
Women underneath that thing get in its face and distract the hell out of that son of a bitch so the swimmers can load the bomb.
Wow, you're all of a sudden going for a Sam Elliott take there.
Alright, time to save the world.
I guess.
live on the ground. Y'all are just tourists.
Now,
Ah, you
he's a
see.
crocodile. He's
See, you try and use the underwater, but I was born in it.
No.
Well, that's kind of what they were going. Well, okay, not so much what they were going for, but
And there you go. This is the last time Katana will have a character moment in this movie. And that's it. We're done.
yeah, Katana
Yeah,
was definitely
wasted on it.
clumsily put in this movie.
Yeah, honestly wasted.
you could remove it from the film entirely, and you'd lose nothing really.
True. Honestly, yeah, this for this thing I actually agree with Dweebs.
I agree
Because
too.
her contribution is very minimal, and she barely interacts even with the other guys.
Barely.
Leroy Jenkins.
I didn't even go with barely. She had like what, 5 lines in the entire movie.
There was that scene with Harley Quinn before, but that was like 5-10 seconds.
Okay, I distinctly remember because I saw this film in the cinema with 2 friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I distinctly remember this bit. Okay, I was getting a tiny little bit more optimistic for the movie at this point because, despite the clumsy editing, the bar scene was all right.
Oh, hey, it's funny you mentioned the editing because the editing kind of at
Seems
some point
improving.
seems. Yeah,
Again,
I mean,
it's very
honestly,
it's what Pedro said probably at the beginning. In order to make the movie more lighthearted, in order to keep in tone and resemble Guardians of the Galaxy, they probably made all the edits at the beginning because that was quote unquote the part to fix.
Yeah.
Well, but the biggest rumor going around was that they took Aya's cut and the Trailer House cut and merged them together into a weird Frankenstein-ish thing.
Yeah.
well, I
Yikes.
guess from what I'm observing, that only really seems apparent in the first act. Thank goodness. Otherwise, it seems
So
nice.
far,
I
it
think
seems
I think
more
the second act had
straightforward.
problems with that as well.
Not really.
I mean, if we add
Unless
Dweebs,
you're referring to the
it seems like-
flashbacks.
if we add Dweebs, there seems to be less prominent.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're about to face off against the Enchantress, and
Okay.
you think she'd have more guards in various places though? wouldn't you?
Yeah, she's arrogant, all that power and stuff. Also,
And
her
she
brother's
probably
a
wasted all
powerhouse.
those guards on already.
True.
Watch as I perform my hula dance of doom.
You know what this reminds me
Actually-
of? You know what this reminds me of?
Actually, before she looked like she was orgasming, Dweebs. Anyway, go on, Pedro.
You know,
Look at that.
you know what this is starting to remind me of? The climax of Ghostbusters.
Which one?
The first
The
one.
first one.
The first one.
Are
I
you
mean,
a god?
well, think of. Well, have you seen the first Ghostbusters, Whips?
Yep.
Okay. Well, think about this. We're in the top of a building.
Wait, we're on the top? I thought we were underground in the subway.
Yeah, actually, we're in the streets near the subway.
All right. Okay. Fine. Whatever. We're okay. Fine. Rephrase that. But look
In fact, actually, we subverts the general superhero movie by not having the final climax action on high ground.
Oh my god, you brilliant bat.
Anyway, Pedro, go along.
Yeah. Look at her. It's just. It's like she's fucking Gorza.
Gozer,
Gozer.
yeah.
Gozer.
He's doing
Yeah.
some weird
Hey, Dweebs,
fashion
Dweebs,
strut down the walkway.
Hey, Dweebs. Maybe she's just twitching. Anyway, Dweebs.
Yeah?
Are you a god?
I don't get it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have an alternate history.
Hi, Batman.
Interesting.
The Enchantress is trying to tempt them into
Having
joining her side by
best
showing like
life.
these little fake visions.
Yeah.
Ah,
And look at that. We get to
tempt them.
see the Joker without any face paint.
But, oh, I see. Okay. Now that's actually an interesting idea. Tempting a villain of all people with their personal desires.
Rick had his wife and everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, can you adjust the lightning, please?
Whoa.
Yeah, I can
Shit.
barely see anything.
Did J.J. Abrams sign on for this seed?
Well, considering the troubled production this movie had, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's the thing, Joe. Because I wasn't really enjoying the film all that much, that's why I was really tending to notice a lot of issues like that.
What?
You know, clumsy edits,
Well,
weird
honestly,
lens
dude,
flare problems, and
honestly, James, I'm enjoying the movie, and even I noticed the. I mean, come on, I mean, they're really obvious to see.
yeah, it's like what Pedro said earlier. Yeah, I mean, you can go along with stuff provided you can go along with some hiccups here and there, provided you're enjoying the thing.
Well,
but if
that
you're not,
lasted. Also, we didn't saw Captain Boomerang's inner desires. Poor bastard.
well, considering his fetish is pink ponies, I don't think I wanted to.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been
Kind of like
wonderful.
the Meet Papyro video from Team Fortress 2.
Alright, squad. Now you have to fight my minions, Vince, Chlorofo, and Zool. Oh, never mind. I forgot. She has a brother. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's true. That's right. Hey guys, I'm still in this movie.
Oh, it's okay. You were never even important to begin
So
with.
he's gonna be representative for the Stay Puft
Yeah.
Marshmallow.
In fact, yeah. That's good. Now now we can fully see what I was talking about earlier. Enchantress's brother is such a fucking waste. I mean, do we really need him in this movie?
Yeah, it's the powerhouse.
Eh.
Although, I
Brother,
will give
No,
you-
well,
distract them while I finish off my Hawaiian hula.
that's the
audition
thing, Joe.
recital.
It's still clearly underdeveloped.
yeah. I'm wondering, did Enchantress have a brother in the comics?
His
Yeah, I
face
think
reminds
so.
me of Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I think his actual name is Oblivion.
Hey
isn't
guys,
it?
Dan actually did something.
Let me see.
Oh, wow. So, Pedro, would you say that this is a better movie than Ghostbusters Answer the Call, I believe it? Yeah, Answer the Call, as they're now calling it.
Well, okay. Here's the.
Uh,
I
to the
enjoy.
ground.
Okay. Let me put it this way, Jova. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I did Ghostbusters Answer the Call. However, I will give it credit that movie overall feels more well-rounded.
well-rounded in, like,
As
its tone.
in, it doesn't feel like a mess. You know, a clash of
Oh, now
styles
I
and tones.
Shit.
Oh, now I recognize him. Okay.
Yeah, what he means is that Ghostbusters doesn't feel like they were using cut and paste all over the place.
But this movie is more enjoyable because the Ghostbusters Answer the Call was just fucking annoying and it's just plain unfunny.
Yeah, this one has characters I care about, humor that actually makes me laugh, and action that, for the most part, does its job well.
Hey Teo, this is the part where you're supposed to say I'm a sexist.
Yeah, sorry. Not caring. I'm actually caring about the movie, sorry.
Thank you.
No, I am too. Like, it's just that the thing is,
Let's not. Let's wait for when we get to that movie.
No, I'm talking about this movie actually. Like I said,
Oh,
I
okay.
honestly don't think. Again, I don't care. I don't care about this part because again, the brother is just here because honestly, I don't really care. As for the El Diablo, yeah, it's interesting that.
Uh-oh. Blow it.
What was with that weird facial expression there?
Well, crap.
Oh, that's it. Incubus. That's his name. Incubus.
Here, Bob.
No, not
The brother.
brother.
So, Jove and Teo, do you remember any specific comics where Incubus was a major character?
I
Not
forgot because
really.
again, even the character of Enchantress to me was not that much of a big of a deal, in terms of remembering it and everything.
Yeah, I'll be quite honest. The main reason I'm not that bugged by him having a minor role is because, well, he's kind of always been kind of that minor role.
But I
as
still
far as
understand what you
know.
mean about the fact that he is clearly underplayed.
I agree, yeah. So, final boss fight?
Mm-hmm.
I will use my magical
CGI cloud.
curtain cloud thing to
Wow.
God.
rule the world.
Well, no,
No, my Cartoon Network satellite. Now I can't watch Steven Universe in Adventure Time.
Whatever, Joe, that's what the internet is for.
But I want to
Why-
support them in the
why
ratings
is
to
that-
foil Cartoon Network's evil plans to sabotage their
why
ratings.
is never the C-SPAN satellite?
I know, right?
Oh boy, here we go. We're almost at.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, she's...
We're
Look out,
almost.
Theo, she's going Maverick.
We're almost at that
Yeah, well-
awful edit later on when the defeater. Anyway,
Yeah.
the point. Okay, basically, here's a little thing that I'd like to also mention in this commentary for the people who are listening to us. If you haven't seen it yet, go to YouTube and check. Search for "The Art of Editing" and "Suicide Squad," which is a video made by Folding Ideas, which is an awesome series made by a film student who. And it's a very intelligently made video about demonstrating the terrible editing. Basically, he goes on to explain the very basics of film editing, and to give the non-initiated a good idea of what he's talking about. And then he further goes on to explain with actual examples how this movie fails at even obeying those basic rules of editing.
I'd say the main parts where it fails are definitely like, goes in the start where, obviously the most dead obvious here. But yeah, here they even get the action scenes right. So yeah, what you guys said
the
about
thing I don't like is the fact that due to the wind/rain, there's this blur effect that makes me don't understand too much what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Ow.
Sorry.
Oh Harley, never stop being awesome. Oh ha! God, parry, dodge. Sorry, Will Smith. You will concept doing it, but it'll take more than your usual brand of cool to take this one down. Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude,
no,
you just
remember.
pulled a...
She's still got the power of.
Oh.
Why didn't she do that earlier?
But she was toying with them.
Like,
Oh, wait, remember, she's constantly building up her power. She's still charging.
I'm gonna build up my power level and reach my ultimate form. Ah!
That's an interesting business offer to villains. Join me or die.
Join me.
So? What the world never done for us anyway? It hates us.
Well, you kind of brought that on yourselves,
Hey, lady? I lost my pudding.
Oh.
Aw.
Again.
Get it back, right?
Is this how they're gonna bring it back? Because that would be...
No,
No.
you'll see.
No.
You'll see.
Oh, it's okay. Trust me. I knew he was gonna come back one way or another.
Kneel before Enchantress.
I like what you're selling, lady. There's just one teeny problem.
What is this thing beneath my feet? Oh. Oh, here we go. Here's the poor edit, Pedro. Yeah, we
Wow.
know you've hammered that point in already.
That was that was clear
Again,
disrespect for the
forced-
audience's intelligence.
Forced line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we already knew that. We established that clearly throughout the movie. That line was just. Yeah.
Jesus. Is this the bad ending you were mentioning, Dweebs?
Well, if Jova, Jova, we get it in slow mo.
I wish I was right.
Totally isn't
Jova, we get it in slow mo. I'm trying to answer.
But again,
Okay, finally.
I forgot. Did also Fan Stick did this?
Yes.
A bit, yeah.
Okay.
Although-
Anyway, what were you trying to?
Seriously.
What were you trying to ask me, Tio?
If that slow-mo was the editing you were mentioning.
Well,
No.
it was mostly that bit Pedro pointed out.
Yeah.
What bit?
That
You
bit
know, the
where,
bit
where right after that he literally goes, "Our hearts out. That was our chance." We know.
And now we're back to the slow
Wait,
motion. Okay.
That was the editing bit?
Whatever. Moving
Yep.
on. We already talked about
Yeah.
that.
Also, Jova, you criticised me for this earlier, but I'm just gonna say, yeah, Jova, we get it. It was a slow-mo shot.
Well, Bib's idea is to keep going slow-mo as long as the scene goes slow-mo.
Yeah, but when I keep going with stuff, I get whatever.
Well, Bibs, your problem is repetition. Anyway, so,
So the
direct hit!
circle
Implosion.
debris death machine thing is gone.
Oh, it makes sense, you know. Take
Oh,
out
and the rain
maker.
stops with that? Okay.
What do you
Boy.
know, Dwebs? Sorry, what do you know, too? Haven't you heard of suspension of disbelief?
Boy, Weather Wizard's gonna be pissed somebody stole his job.
Yeah, don't go at me on Facebook because of this.
Nope.
Yuji no Keo Kuna!
Nope. Wow,
No.
Katana can't even do the killing blow in this movie.
No, I can't. You cannot kill her because my power bonus is stronger.
I'll crush this. Do you hear me? You bring June back or I'll crush this.
Ah,
Okay, how about I give it to one of the villains who does have the guts to... Oh, he can.
means she'd be the kind of character to say.
Wait, so is Rick Flag who actually kills her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously?
Well, yes and no.
This should be in...
Fucking kill stealers.
Dude, did you seriously just steal a kill from us?
Yeah, well, technically, I'm a member of the Suicide Squad now, so. Yeah.
Yay.
But it's,
Dare jump scare me.
but it's okay, guys. It's okay.
Why?
Because
Oh, that's right, the
Doctor-
Doctor Within.
Dr. Moon it was inside the Enchantress all along, so she's still alive.
Yeah,
Oh,
makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense, especially since they're similar to Shazam.
Who?
Shaquille
Yeah,
O'Neal.
no,
Shaquille
Cat-
O'Neal.
No,
No, that's
I, said,
Kazam.
That's Kazam.
I said Shazam, not Kazam.
Kazai and Kazam. Oh, man.
Oh, going back off him.
Yeah, that's right. We're all kind of. Oh, right. I forgot.
Are you not dead?
Motherfucker.
Think you would be nice.
Okay, see, Droops, when he points it out, it's funny.
Debatable.
But I was... Never mind.
That's not enough. I'm seeing my daughter.
Any other requests?
An espresso machine.
Yeah, a device like that could really do with a "Are you sure you want to blow him up?" thing. Of what she presses a button accidentally. Yeah. Can you imagine it? One of them's talking, and then the head gets blown up mid-sentence. Like, yeah, oops.
Granted, that stupid movie made by WWE.
It would have been better if in mid-sentence she actually got a WhatsApp notification and they have had to switch to the other.
Okay, so technically, Deadshot does get what he wanted. He gets his daughter some.
To go to school.
Yeah. He manages to give her some degree of education, albeit he's being he's being kept under close eye by General.
Rick Flag. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's nice.
I think another big problem with this movie is how they never really made Rick Flag a character worth caring about. Yeah, he has that relationship with Moon, but we barely even see them together in those flash. We saw them like what, once together or twice at most.
It was mostly for the backstory.
It's like, I'm fine with Rick Flag, but I'll admit his whole relationship with this name who he wanted brought back to life. Yeah, I don't even remember her name.
Yeah, exactly. And Rick Flag is just there again, much like this.
He's fine on his own, and when he's associating with the Suicide Squad characters, I get more from him then. But
And
yeah,
even then, in the comics, he's not clearly the most, noticeable member of the squad.
Well, that's the thing, though. Just because something wasn't done well in the comics doesn't mean it can't be done well in the movie. Oh, Queen.
Are you serious?
Well, I'll tell you what. A more timeless song. There you go.
I know, but it still doesn't. Oh,
of
okay.
course.
The thing is funny, but the music is not fitting. It's like in Highlander with Swords, we're using Queen just because the previous movies did it.
Aw, and Waylon Jones gets his TV.
Oh come on, poor Boomer gets still no love. Oh, come on. I really hope he comes back for the Flash movie.
Me too.
So let's sit back and enjoy this nice montage of Queen in the background.
Yeah, works.
An espresso machine. There she is. And there you go.
Oh, we stop the music, for that.
There you go. There's back to the score.
Again, not sure whether there's meant to be more score or whether this is all the score Stephen Price did in the first place. I don't know.
Ha. And there you go.
Yeah,
Here's the Joker.
Well, the actual score itself, not the music tracks, isn't really all that memorable anyway. So.
And there you go.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
All right. There's an after credits scene, so stick around, everybody.
All right, let's hold on our final thoughts till after that scene's done. For DC Comics, director of grimy
Photography.
production designer,
School.
edited sometimes by John Gilroy.
Maybe it was with Movie Maker, Dweebs. What do you know?
Oh, Andy Horowitz. Interesting.
Stephen, I barely got to do any score in this movie. Price.
Really? He got to do quite a bit of score in this movie.
Well, let's be fair, Drova. It's non-memorable, and people tend to associate more with the licensed song.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the score for this movie isn't really memorable. I don't remember a single
I love
theme.
how Jared Leto was one of the headliner actors in this movie,
And-
despite
yeah,
Joker
he was in
not
the film,
showing
like-
up that much.
That's the main
So
reason.
like
Yeah,
10
that's the main reason why people felt ripped off because I mean they marketed him so much. He got top billing. It's kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean 3, where they gave Chow Yun-Fat top billing, even though he's in the movie for like what 10 minutes.
Wait, wasn't he placed like at the back on the cover though? Like it said, "And Chow Yun-Fat."
But that's the thing, Jova. If his character doesn't do anything, why did you even bother? Why did he even get top billing?
Yeah, common.
When I say top billing, I'm talking about the fact that Jared Leto was like, I think the second name showed for the characters.
Yeah, Common seems to be one of those actors that you kind of forget's there.
It's probably because Chow Yun-Fat was one of the few. Well, actually, no, they had plenty. It was actually one of the stronger, popular names they had, so they decided they would have it in there just for the sake of getting people to see the movie or something. Anyway, whatever.
I could get why they would have him, like, old title-wise, but as long as they put him at the back, then that at least makes some amount of sense. But having Jared Leto be, like, one of the second or third credited actors above, the people who actually play the main characters in the movie, no.
And
there we go.
Here's a preview for the Justice League movie.
Which, I'll admit from the trailers, does look pretty funny and good.
Oh, hi, Bruce.
And
I'm gonna go for the films one at a time.
First Wonder Woman, then Justice League.
Yeah.
Me too. Though I'm not at
just
all.
saying you weren't with us
I'm-
yesterday, Dwebs. We watched a pretty good Wonder Woman flick.
Yeah, regardless of how the trailers look, I'm still really apprehensive about it because
Flash.
I cannot stand
Aquaman.
Zack Snyder at this point, and I'm just
I love how it has like I love how
So Flash and Aquaman were actually considered for the Suicide Squad right after Enchantress.
Yeah.
Charming.
Wow.
I love how Justice League has at least one person that has one member of this group a bit concerned. Zack Snyder for Pedro, Chris Terrio for Jova.
Yeah, honest. He's back for that movie.
Yes.
Well, does he have a better writer to hopefully keep him in check?
He's the solo writer.
all right. There is no post credit scene. Trust me, I checked.
Also, is it me or are the credits in Comic Sans?
No, it's not, Dweebs. Believe
No.
me, Dweebs. I know what Comic Sans is like, and this is not.
Same, yeah, trust me, Dwebs.
Also, this style of end. Also, again, me being nitpicky here, but this style of end credits doesn't really fit with
Eh?
with what
What's
was
wrong
shown.
with the... Go on.
I don't know.
They seem your generic end credits.
Yeah,
I don't know. Something about it just feels off.
what
Maybe
could
it's
be...
maybe it's the weird. Maybe it's like the weird Star Warsy background. I don't know.
You're associating it with Star Wars just because there's Star Wars.
Anyway, final thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. Go ahead.
on a story now.
All right. Since James is the one who wants to get it off most, let's just let him go first so that we can
Go ahead.
calmly go after it.
This movie credits the other editors in these credits. Didn't forgot about
course.
that, actually.
Go ahead.
Forgot about that actually, because the one on top billing's that John Gilroy guy.
All right, Dwebs, go on. Final thoughts.
Anyway, again, I wish I could see what you guys see in this movie, but I'm going to be completely honest here. I just can't. I mean, yeah, there are a couple of funny jokes, but the rest are either just there because they're there, or they're really cringeworthy. And also there's stuff like the action is either decent or, well, the foggy fight at the end where you can barely tell what's happening. Coupled with the problem of underdeveloped characters, and even the ones that do get developed, they're really there. The stories aren't really all that special, again, except for El Diablo's. Forgettable music, aside from the pop music tracks, and even then, those feel way out of place. Yeah, so for me, the biggest reason I think this is worse than Batman v Superman is mostly on a technical level. And again, I wouldn't notice it that much if I were enjoying the movie, but I didn't. So it's like Pedro said, those stuff just pops out at you even more.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm not quite sure who to blame. Do I blame Warner Brothers for panicking and causing this to happen? Do I blame Ayer for some of his stuff not really being all that good in the first place? Or do I blame the editing house for making a right pig's ear out of it?
How about all three then?
Yeah, I'll take that option. I'll blame all three. So yeah, this is the worst movie in the DC film universe for me, because I could at least somewhat enjoy Batman v Superman on a guilty pleasure level, but it's just ugh. Moving on. Hopefully, I'm a little optimistic for Wonder Woman, but that's the thing. I'm only a little optimistic. If both Wonder Woman and Justice League suck, then, well, there's no hope left, really, is there?
No. If that's just the thing. If the Justice League movie ends up sucking, it's officially. I mean,
Yeah, it's officially over in that case.
Reboot.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, it'll be reboot time. Which, honestly, for
And
me...
even then, Jova, it will be a reboot after a long time, because, people need time to warm up after that.
Yeah, that'll be a shame.
Why didn't stop them rebooting Spider-Man 2 years after?
But in that case, it was different with because they needed to integrate it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they need to quickly organize and everything. For example, this is kind of like after Dark Knight Rises, they needed to start building up the DC Cinematic Universe, and they still waited a bit before reintroducing Batman in it.
And the less said about Batman and Robin, the better.
Yeah.
Well, that was a special case. I
go
think
with-
Pictures Image works.
Go ahead, we finish everything.
So
anyway.
yeah, sorry guys. To me, in my opinion, this movie sucks.
Okay. Pedro, you go next.
Me. Like I said earlier, I think this is a mixed bag of a movie. There are some things that some things that I really like, some things that I really dislike, and overall, it's just a movie where I'm just like, it was okay, I guess. Overall, like it's just like okay. Like Webb said, on a technical from a technical standpoint, this movie is a complete mess. The editing is terrible. The overall the structure is very questionable because, like I said, the middle act is very, like it's like the plot pretty much stops for quite a while.
Oh my god, Fortunate Son, I'm getting Batman Fortunate Son flashbacks.
Anyway, it's okay. Like I said, yeah, from a technical standpoint, this movie is a pretty fucking mess. But just from a purely entertainment value standpoint, while it does have a lot of stupid things about it, I also think there's a lot of good things about it. Like I said, that I love that shot in Harley Quinn, and to a lesser extent El Diablo in this movie. I don't think he's as charming as that shot in Harley Quinn, but he's still a really great. But he's still definitely one of the better characters. The others are just kind of there for me, honestly. So I mean, don't get me wrong, Captain Boomerang does have his funny moments, but the problem is, again, they don't focus on them that much, so it's kind of hard for me to care. I enjoyed every time Deadshot and Harley Quinn are on screen because not only do they have great chemistry with each other, but their performances are really cool. It's really fun to watch them do their thing. Viola Davis is really good in this, especially when you consider the writing she has to work with, because her character is also very poorly written. But Viola Davis does the best she can with what she's given, and she does do and she does come out of this with dignity, so that's cool. I could not care less for the villain. It's like, seriously, like Joe Ventero said, yeah, Enchantress wasn't even that interesting to begin with in the source material, but at the same time,
they could have made her better.
Why couldn't, not just that, or even better, just pick a different villain altogether? Why Enchantress?
Yeah.
I mean, this was the best. I mean, among so many DC villains, you pick this one? I mean, why? Whatever. The point is, this movie is, from an objective standpoint, is a pretty fucking mess. I still think this movie is at the very least better than. Okay, how about this?
I'd say, objectively speaking, it's a mixed bag, like you said, but it's not really bad. It's like, well, I'll go more into it with my final thoughts, but I'll just say right now, it feels definitely like a transitional phase movie. Like, well, you can definitely tell that it's transitioning from what is considered bad to what should be better, because, yeah, there are glimpses of a lot more good improvements over the overall bout of storytelling in the DC universe as opposed to the previous ones, mixed in with some of that awkwardness, too.
Basically, yeah, it's like, I still really enjoy. This is, of all the free DCU movies, this is the one I enjoyed the most, if anything, because I actually had characters that I actually cared about in this one.
Yeah. With characterizations that didn't make you want to bang your head against a wall either,
unless you're me.
Well, again, Dwebs, since you yourself approved of my argument earlier, I'll use it again myself, except in reverse. While it is true that Man of Steel and Batman v Superman are better put together movies in technical terms, the editing is better and there's no clash of styles and shit like that. At the very least, that's fine. It's nice that those movies are, at the very least competently made. But if you gave me such shitty storytelling with awful characters, who cares, Whereas in this movie, for as terrible as the technical stuff is, at the very least, this movie gave me characters that were actually likable, and to me, that's much more important than the technical stuff. That's just
So really, all Warner Brothers need to do is just get rid of the bad stuff from either of the all the three movies we had so far.
That's exactly why I say that this movie feels like a transitional phase. Like, it's literally a mix of improvements, but you still see some of the bad stuff. But thankfully, unlike the previous movies, the bad stuff doesn't seem to override stuff. Objectively speaking.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag. I enjoyed some parts, I hated some parts, but overall, yeah, it's definitely, for a movie that looked so promising in the trailers, it's still definitely a disappointment, because this could have been so much better. Okay. Go ahead, Teo, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. This movie, to me, it's weird, more weird than anything, because again, I'm pretty much with Pedro on this one. There are weird stuff, bad stuff, but also very good stuff and really funny moments. Moments that I didn't have with either Man of Steel or Batman v Superman.
I agree.
Plus, legitimately, that bar scene is legitimately, good in what he's trying to do to reinforce the team as a whole. I understand that not all the characters had their time to shine, but I still think each of them had their own space in the movie. True, there's focus more on some than the others, that's obviously. But to me, it still feels like everyone had their own, screen time, proper screen time. The problem to me is that some of these characters don't have reason to be there. Like, obviously, Katana has a short there because even with her presence, she barely does anything. Like, she even isn't allowed to give the coup de grace to the villain. Or Killer Croc, which... to me, it still is. He does something in the movie, and you got scenes like that, scenes with him. But honestly, with his backstory, you just can't do much about with him. They clearly just clearly wanted the tank, the big guy that just has super strength and everything. But we could have easily got away even with Solomon Grundy, for all I knew. Well, the thing that kind of made me a bit sad is that Captain Boomerang, in true tradition, since he's treated like a comic relief, pretty much gets no love. He's treated like the bottom monkey of the group. He gets all the unlock stuff, and in the end he doesn't even get any personal reward. He's just thrown in jail again. I really hope he comes back for the Flash movie, because the Flash Rogues Gallery has the potential of being very, very comedically funny if treated well. But yeah, overall, but as I mentioned, there are these scenes which are legitimately funny, where even when there are supposedly one-liners, those one-liners are actually funny. I mean, it's clear that there were some effort into them, and some actual thoughts about comedy and everything. But there's also the fact that, as I noticed before, the editing issues were clearly present from the beginning. I mean, one thing is that this movie is, for an entirety of the first act, is on high. Like, it needs to present all the characters before the end of the halfway through the movie. It doesn't take a break or brief. And the bad editing just worse this thing. But in the second half, due to the fact that, much like Pedro said, the plot stops to a crawl pretty much. They still take time. This allows the movie to take time and don't have too much, fast editing. They compensate with the stupid slow-mo at the end, but whatever. It's a thing that all movies have these days, apparently. And much like Pedro said, also, the scene with the Joker seems just to build up the fact that he's just going to save Harley Quinn at the end. And yeah, I can see where they were going, but we could have done it better. Again, this movie is divisive to me, because there are some really good stuff I appreciate, but there are also bad stuff and stupid stuff. Like, those two forced line, like when Will Smith drops the title, and at the end when Rick Flag points clearly in a dumb way the the weak point of Enchantress. Those were stupid forced lines. But again, there are still some legitimate good moments of this movie that would have made me revisit in the future, maybe, but not like once in a while or anything. It's definitely, to me, the movie that's more, well, I don't say the best of the DC cinematic universe so far.
Oh, what would you
again,
say is the best then?
I don't have one. That's the problem.
I don't.
Okay. Let me rephrase it then. The
this is
least
what-
bad.
again,
The least bad.
Again, no. Again, as I mentioned, this is one that I enjoy the most. That's the
Well,
thing.
in that case, best.
And again,
Yeah,
and,
go with that one then.
but that's the thing. Again, Zack Snyder and David Goyer. There must be really a problem when the movie that I enjoy the most is supposed to be about the bad guys and not about Superman or Batman.
Yeah. Well,
And then, as Pedro mentioned, I really hope that this mess of DC cinematic universe can be saved. There's still potential to be saved, but they really need to, up their shit. And if anything is indication to their direction we're going with the people we're getting, for example, the Green Lantern movie, as the news reached by the time this record was made, I don't have my hopes up. Sorry. I will still see the Wonder Woman movie just for curiosity to see how it's going, and then the Justice League movie, but I'm cautiously pessimistic.
Okay, if you don't know, audience, I'll elaborate a little bit before Jovi gives his final thoughts. Recently, we found out that the Green Lantern Corps movie is going to be I've forgotten who the other writer was.
Justin
somebody. But
Justin
the other
Wilds,
writer,
I believe it was.
I think so. But the other writer is David Goyer.
Yeah.
Who, again, has had his good stuff, but lately he's had a trend of not so good stuff.
Alright, that's pretty much it for me. Go ahead, Jova.
Go on, Jovi.
Before I go into my final thoughts, the main thing that does have me having somewhat hope for the Green Lantern Corps movie is that they're finally having Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, yes, Jon Stewart, co-star live action wise.
Who?
Basically, a black
the comedian?
A black Green Lantern with that's all
Jon
you need to
Stewart
know.
is basically the Green Lantern that me and a lot of people who, grew up with the animated series grew up with.
Oh.
Basically, Dweeb's Green Lantern. All you need to know, Dweeb's, that Green Lantern is just a title that's passed through different characters, and Jon Stewart is one of them. That's all you need to know.
I thought it was just like some dumb joke generated from somewhere.
Anyway, we're digressing.
And the Green Lantern's that comedian guy.
But anyway, Judd, we're digressing. So, Jova, go ahead with your final thoughts.
Yeah, I'll say maybe it's because I was told of how supposedly bad this movie was, but okay. There are definitely a lot of bad things, and I will say this. It's not an all-good film, but I definitely say I see more good in it than bad. The main thing is a lot of the stupid stuff with the editing stuff, that shows up, but it seems to be kept mainly to the first act, and I guess a bit of the second act, if we count the flashbacks of Harlequin, which do feel a bit clumsy, although they do thankfully help flesh her out more for someone who hasn't read comic books, so thank you, movie. I will say, though, that, out of the DC Cinematic Universe movies so far, this one has had the story that doesn't make me feel so conflicted about liking it the most so far. I mean, Man of Steel, I like, but, oh god, that one had quite a few problems with how it portrayed Superman. Batman v Superman got Superman better, but then it screwed with Batman, and, well, the way that movie ended was a stupid setup.
It's interesting you say that, because even though, like I said before, the one that of all the three, the one that I still hate the most on a personal standpoint is Man of Steel, because that movie is so completely missing the point of Superman.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah. The problem with Man of Steel, Hold on. Let me finish this. The problem with Man of Steel is you can definitely tell that was the first one ever made because, even Batman v Superman, for as many problems as that movie had, did show that Zack was paying attention to criticism. How he handled it is a bit questionable, but in the long run, he did at least seem to get Superman a lot better in that. But anyway.
I was more distracted by the Hunger Games camera work in that movie.
Which one, Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Anyway, Man of Steel was a clumsy start. Batman v Superman wasn't on... Well, Batman v Superman was a good And I'm saying good as in the attempt. A good attempt to improve on it. And they did in some regards, not so much in other ones. Clumsy misstep. Suicide Squad, I definitely do feel that battle change that they brought on when they announced, okay, we've heard that our movies are constantly stinking, so we're going to change things up. I definitely get that feeling from this movie. Like I said, this feels like a transitional phase movie, literally caught in the middle of the transition. Like, you can tell to the point where it mixes some stuff up here and there. The storytelling is definitely one of the best of a DC cinematic universe so far. I'm not saying that, like in the terms of jest, but no, I actually do genuinely dig the storytelling with the villains here. I mean, yeah. They flesh out Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and El Diablo. Good, although El Diablo could have used some more. Killer Croc serves his purpose, as much as you would expect. Captain Boomerang was a good comic relief, but yeah, I wish they'd done more with him, but I'm so hoping that he shows up because, yeah, I actually do like this take on Captain Boomerang. Not bad. In fact, I pretty much like all of the takes on the characters. Yes, even Enchantress, although I'm talking design-wise as opposed to role-wise. This actual take on the world does give a more well-rounded one. Colorful here, but can be dark there. It shows that there can be both comedic moments, but also dead serious moments. Again, something that Batman v Superman was starting to show, but this one shows it done a lot better. I genuinely care for the characters we're supposed to care about, so that's good. And yeah, I do like how this movie can be self-aware well enough. Main issues are definitely how it does feel lopsided here and there, and yes, I mean, really, if they were going to cut as many Joker scenes as apparently they have, Joker should have been used better. Which is weird, because with Joker, he's incredibly hit and miss for me. Some of his scenes are pretty good, and sometimes get a laugh out of me. Other ones feel like he's kind of a poor man's Heath Ledger / Jack Nicholson. Yeah, the score was fine for me. I mean, I won't call it unmemorable, but again, I also won't call it the most remarkable one either. I did like the inclusion of some of the pop cultural reference songs. Some of them I did feel did fit, but others, admittedly, not so much. I'll be the odd man out in saying that this movie does give me hope for the DC Cinematic Universe, as long as they go in the right direction. As opposed to, backwards. Because, like I said, this movie feels like a fork in the road. Like, okay, you can continue going up, or you could go right back down. And the Wonder Woman movie does look good enough, and considering the team for that one not being, Zack Snyder and...
Zack Snyder's a story co-writer on that one.
I said Zack Snyder heavy, though. Story co-writer, he's a good enough story writer. What matters mainly is how the script is done and portrayed.
I disagree. That man has no idea how to tell a story. Yeah, the only thing Zack Snyder really does well, if you ask me, is transitioning comic book panels into film.
He has the idea of telling a story. I will give him that. It's his execution, though, where he definitely needs help in doing it. Like, he's a very good story thinker in here and there. But
Sucker Punch would like to have a word with you.
Well, even still, Sucker Punch had a good story behind it. The problem was its portrayal and the jerkiness of those scenes, but we already have a whole commentary dedicated to that. Basically, though, I'll say I'm not the most confident. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic.
But an age over. After a recent Wonder Woman live action thing we've seen, it can't possibly be any worse than that, can it?
Oh, no, it cannot. It cannot be worse than that Wonder Woman pilot. And hey, dude, someday we're going to show you that Wonder Woman animated flick, which is actually pretty awesome.
Oh god, oh my god, I've just imagined, what if they have a scene where Wonder Woman just fires a rocket launcher at someone because he said no to a question or something?
We're in World War One. I'm pretty sure it will be hard to do that.
Or she throws like one of them early grenades or
whatever. My point is, they're allowed to try to be that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Patty Jenkins. As long as you screw up worse than the other one, I think it'll be all right.
Anyway, we dragged this way longer than it should have been. So
I'll admit I enjoyed this movie.
Hopefully Wonder Woman will be the first DCU movie to really convince the majority of
Even
audiences.
people like dreams.
Even majority, it's gonna.
Yes.
The problem is that at this point, it may be too late. It may not be too late. It's just Wonder Woman is going to be incredibly important. And
Well, let's be fair. It's never going to be too late when it comes to these big money-making films. What?
I'm
depend...
talking about in terms of reception, not in terms of box office results.
Yeah, I mean,
I get that. I get
that's the
that.
thing,
What I
you
mean is
can't
like,
keep-
what I get is like, what I'm saying is like, if the movie does turn out to be good, it's never too late for them to get good reception. What depends mainly is the overall idea of if this whole continuity can be salvaged with how they're doing it story-wise. Because, yeah, plenty of franchises have had ugly to bad starts, but have then risen up to being well-regarded later in the sequels.
That's the thing, though, Jovi. If they keep having consistently mediocre or just plain bad films, people are just gonna give up on them eventually.
Yeah, true.
I mean, look what happened with Fan Four Stick.
Wait, that's not even a franchise, though.
But Fan Four Stick was one of the biggest abominations that ever plagued mankind.
Not just that. It was
Yeah.
pretty much dead on arrival.
Yeah, gonna be honest, yeah, it was dead on arrival, and it really did not deserve a chance, considering what we know about that film.
Anyway, again, we
Yeah.
finish off Jova.
Basically, yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I see it as a beacon of hope. It could have... There are definitely a lot of things that could have been better, but it definitely left me with a lot of good stuff, and I'll definitely give it a few rewatches, because the good outweighs the bad for me.
I'm cautiously optimistic for the Wonder Woman movie because the trailers do look promising. But
Same for me with Justice League, believe it or not.
I'm just like after so many shit movies in a row, I'm just
Talking about trailer-wise.
Well, I know, regardless of how the movie looks in the trailers, because as Joe says, never trust in the trailer.
Yeah, but
I know that.
Especially with
Trust
this
me.
movie.
Trust me, I know that especially. In fact, I'm other people was to tell that to people who don't know that.
But the thing
Anyway,
is,
that was our commentary. That was
yeah, might
Suicide
as
Squad.
well.
Join us in about a year or so when we commentate on the Wonder Woman movie. And well, considering the track record of this universe so far, there'll probably be like an ultra extended cut of that one too.
yeah. See you, everybody.